What's going on?
So it's no longer a Sahelian project. It is now an African project because Africans have had enough. Africans are tired. You cannot keep taking our natural resources and tell us that the highest. When you are looking at Burkina Faso, it's no longer a Sahelian project. It is now an African project because Africans have had enough. Africans are tired. You cannot keep taking our natural resources and tell us that the highest royalty paid to any nation in Africa on their natural resources is 5%. 5% royalty. How did I know? The former president of Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, was kicked out of office by the West because he said, I am not taking 5% royalty on the natural resources that are in the land of my fathers. He said, why? He said, how can you give me 5% royalty? Are we not supposed to have an agreement on how this is done? Are you not supposed to come into partnership and tell me what you bring to the table? I'll tell you, okay, I own this, you take this, I take that. No, you don't have that right if you're in Africa. They told him, Mr. President, you should be happy because the 5% we're offering you, there are only 3 countries in Africa that have up to 5%. The rest are lower. So Garland, we have less, which is why the wife of the president of Sierra Leone, sitting president, was complaining. If she just complained recently, the video went viral, and she was saying to everyone that, listen, we are given 0.0001% royalty on the gold. You know, Sierra Leone is a gold coast. It's a gold coast. But if you visit Sierra Leone today, it's like a pardon my language. Sierra Leone is a shadow. It's not even, you can't even find where to put your feet. So backward, so messed up, so devastated economically. But if you imagine if the gold in that country was being nationalized the way if Ibrahim Traore is nationalizing the wealth of his country right now, everybody from Sierra Leone would have been living so big. You won't see any one of them going to queue for visas to travel anywhere. This is what is happening to countries in Africa. And this is why every African diasporan must pay attention and must back what is happening in the Sahel. Because if you can consolidate and hold down what has happened in Sahel, many more victories will roll in. If we let them touch any one of those guys, we are done. Psychologically, they will weaken us. And you won't see any revolution anywhere again. But thank God for the gift of Russia in times like this. I believe that the rivalry, or not even the rivalry, the animosity between Russia and the West was created by heaven so that we can have our freedom. So that's why today it is not easy for them to take him out like they would have before. He wouldn't even have lasted 2 years in power. He's been there for more. And so much is happening in Burkina Faso.
You know, I knew when I heard him first say, I didn't know much about him. And then the first thing I read, I was reading it, he said, you know, he was in Russia and they had, it was like an Africa summit, and various African leaders were saying things. And when what he said was, what, they were asking for help and things like that. And what he said was, why are we going around the world begging when we're so rich? And I knew, man, this guy's looking at this thing as something different. He's not looking at it as we're weak and we have to ask everybody for help. And what he recognized the strength of Africa and said, we have to exercise our strength. We are not poor. We are not beggars. And the vision of him, he's a big, strong guy. You know, you look at him, he's a big, strong guy. And he wears his military uniform, you know, the uniform of armed struggle. And the way he talks is, it's not anger, it's confidence. It's strength. And as soon as you hear him, you say, yeah, that guy, he means business. And he's not weak. He's not begging. He's not asking. He's saying, we have a right to this and we will have it.
Yes. Because, you know, Garland, passion is infectious. When you see passion, no one explains it to you. You can feel it. It's very infectious, very relatable. When you see Ibrahim Traore, the reason we call him an archetype is because he is an embodiment of all the cries and the weeping and the pains of Africa. He's not the only one in the Sahel. Remember, the revolution began in Mali, and we have to give it up for that brother in Mali who held it together until Burkina Faso then happened. And then you had Niger Republic. It was the motivation of Mali. It was Mali that motivated this Burkina Faso, that inspired Burkina Faso to happen. And Burkina Faso inspired Niger Republic to happen. And the three of them are now inspiring many other revolutionaries and revolutions that are breeding right now, that are sitting in different parts of Africa. There are so many more that are going to fall in. Mark my words. In no distant time, you're going to see many more African countries. And that is the essence of making sure that Ibrahim Traore is protected. Ibrahim Traore only just happens to be the one that is being singled out as the poster child for what God is about to do on the continent of Africa. He's not the only one, but he has been singled as a sign. When I made a particular video I put out some time ago, I said Ibrahim Traore is the sign from God. A single human being that became a sign of an entire revolutionary process. That's who he has become. So when you hear him speak, you will feel it. You will see it coming. You can feel the fire in his bones. And he's very calm and calculated. He knows exactly that our time has come. They said you cannot defeat an idea whose time has come. How can you defeat it? This idea has been there. It's been there for so many years. Many of our forefathers died hoping and believing that this day will come. But eventually, it pleased God that it will happen in our own lifetime. And it is happening right now. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. That is why, Garland, can you believe it? You think it's fake news? More than 18 to 20 assassination attempts on Ibrahim Traore, all of them failed. And I can bet you today, he is not the only one they're trying to take out. You can imagine how many assassination attempts Assimi Goïta of Mali has also endured. You can imagine how many that Chiani of Niger Republic has also endured. But now they are targeting Ibrahim Traore because Burkina Faso is now the place, like the headquarters of the AES nations, the Sahel states that have broken with the colonial powers. So Burkina Faso is the security headquarters for them. That's where almost everything is coordinated from. So they want to target and destroy this one that has come out as the symbol of the revolution, so that the moment they do it, every other person will be psychologically incapacitated. And the rest of Africa will crawl back into their cocoons, crawl back into their shells and say, well, I said it before, we are never going to be free. We are not meant to be free. A lot of Africans already believe that we are not meant to be free from the colonial powers. That's why you have puppets all over the place. Puppets giving their whole life to serve the colonial powers in the 21st century. Garland, these are our brothers, because they are cowards. They have given up. They no longer believe that miracles are possible to happen on the continent. They gave up hope. That's why. So the colonials used them. Look at Cameroon. Look at so many parts of Africa. Leaders, so-called leaders in power for generations. And France is so happy. And yet General Michael Langley is coming to tell us that the problem of the world is Ibrahim Traore that just came to power in 2022. But you have the guy in Cameroon and in different other parts of Africa who have done decades in power, nothing but tyranny on their people. And then allowing France and colonials to steal all the money and take them away. That's all they've done. Nobody cares about the people who are dying and languishing in poverty. But the one man who has come out with his brothers in the Sahel region to say enough is enough. Africa belongs to Africans. We don't want to exist alone as Africans. We want to do business. We want to be partners with every other person, but it has to be a win-win. You cannot make it a win-lose in favor of the colonials on something that belongs to me. No, enough is enough.
has now put the same order on Ibrahim Traore when General Langley got, and now the conditions in America is an almost post-apocalyptic condition of when everybody who has ever stood up has been murdered. Oh. And now the same government has now put the same order on Ibrahim Traore when General Langley got on TV and said Ibrahim Traore is a danger to the people of Burkina Faso, and we need to go over there and save the people of Burkina Faso from Ibrahim Traore. That is a kill order. That is the same message that they put out on Muammar Gaddafi before they toppled Libya. And now the women in Libya, just like Sudan, are being raped, and the children are being sold in slave markets. And now Donald Trump got on a meeting just the other day and said, even if we wanted to go into Libya, we can't, because the situation has collapsed so bad There is no more Libya. That is what the Western media has said. And that is what they want to do to Burkina Faso. Do not look and say this is Burkina Faso. It has nothing to do with Ghana. Because if they collapse Burkina Faso, it will spill over into Ghana. Make no mistake about it. So this is a test from God for everybody. Because when Kwame and Nkrumah came, we're humans. We make mistakes. But we allowed the West to turn us against a saxophone. And we danced on top of his broken statues. And we celebrated when he was overthrown. He was all over the continent building what we know as the Casablanca Group, which was a Pan-African group, the first group to say United Africa now. And they put the Moravian group to say, in the least time possible. Well, 60 years have passed. And now Ibrahim Traoré says time to continue what Thomas Sankara started. And they say, oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. We see that the Casablanca group was right. And the Moravian group was wrong. It is time for us to right our errors and our wrongs. There is plenty of reason for us to take this personal. Because Kwame Nkrumah is watching us right now. And he's saying, if you want to be free as Ghanaians, show me that you have changed.
Right now.
Show me that your mentality is different. It is our time. There is a new Casablanca group, and it is called the Sahel. And Chad is rising to join. Senegal is rising to join. And as this man, Ibrahim Traoré, survives, more will join. We have a president that says, I see Congo. And when I get things stabilized here, we go into Congo. How many African presidents have said that? We have a president that says, I see Sudan. And when I get things straight at Burkina Faso, we go into Sudan. How many African presidents are talking like that? So if we keep this man alive and protect this man with our lives, this man is setting the blueprint of the United Africa that Kwame Nkrumah always wanted. We must be willing to die for him, but we must also be willing to live for him. Make this message and make this name known all around. I should not speak to any Ghanaian that does not know who Ibrahim Traoré is. We should all know, because he is us and we are him. And my job as Hakeem Royce of Glue Nation, God, love, unity, and enlightenment is to bring Black diasporian investors and builders here from the West. But are we ready? Are we ready? Do we have control of our resources? Do we have sovereignty over our land? Or will the people continue to come and say, Africa's not ready yet? Maybe everything that the West and all of the narratives that the West has put out about Africa is true. We have to write our own story. We have to tell our own narratives so that diasporians will want to come back here. Plumbers, builders, infrastructure, people that would invest in the different sectors. They want to come, but they see the wars and they say, are we ready? They see what's going on in Ivory Coast with the Ivory Coast president training jihadists to go into Burkina Faso and overthrow Ibrahim Traoré.
Babylon.
In the West, Babylon uses these things to keep people from coming back and helping to build the continent. Let us show the world that we are ready for repatriation and that we are ready for the diasporians to come home. Tell these Babylonians to get out so we can make room for all people to come back. I am a slave that was taken 400 years ago, and I have returned, and more of us is coming. Let us show them that they are coming back to something better than imperialism, something better than subjugation. something better than slavery, which is all we have in America. Yes! Show them that we are building something here in Africa that they can't get anywhere else in the diaspora. In the words of Marcus Garvey, Africa for Africans. Africa for Africans. Africa always wanted. We must be willing to die for him, but we must also be willing to live for him. Make this message and make this name known all around. I should not speak to anybody that does not know who Abraham Traore is. We should all know.
But everyone has a different story to
Because
tell.
he is us.
Shell, which says it's losing
And
the
we are him. In my job,
Tampa
as a
market.
team voice of Blue Nation, God, love, unity, and enlightenment.
Africa, precisely on the horn of Africa.
Diasporian investors in buildings here from the West. But are we ready? Are we ready? Do we have control of our resources? Do we have sovereignty over our land? Or will the people continue to come and say, Africa's not ready yet? Maybe everything that the West and all of the narratives that the West has put out about Africa is true. We have to write our own story. We have to tell our own narratives so that diasporians will want to come back here. Plumbers, builders, infrastructure, people that would invest in the different sectors. They want to come, but they see the wars and they say, are we ready? They see what's going on in Ivory Coast with the Ivory Coast president training jihadists to go into Burkina Faso and overthrow Abraham Traore.
Babylon.
In the West, Babylon uses these things to keep people from coming back and helping to build the continent. Let us show the world that we are ready for repatriation and that we are ready for the diasporians to come home. Tell these Babylonians to get out so we can make room for our people to come back. I am a slave that was taken 400 years ago, and I have returned, and more of us is coming. Let us show them that they are coming back to something. Something better than imperialism. Something better than subjugation. Something better than slavery, which is all we have in America. Yes! Show them that we are building something here in Africa that they can't get anywhere else in the diaspora. In the words of Marcus Garvey, Africa for Africans. Africa for Africans. Africa for Africans. Africa.
All right. Good afternoon, folks. Once again, this is Frank. I am your host. This is the Revolutionary Repatriation Educational Lecture Series aspect of WCC every Sunday at 1 p.m. Now, today's topic, it says, why Michael Langley, the so-called United States General for AFRICOM, and by the way, AFRICOM is a terrorist organization. AFRICOM is a terrorist group funded by the United States to support the removal, to support terrorist activities around the world or in Africa or on the African continent, or to be specific, Black nations. Because AFRICOM is an American armed group that train other Black people to remove African democratic leader, to remove African leaders who are in support for their people and a betterment for their nation. America do have a terrorist organization called AFRICOM. Now, I got a few minutes to 1 o'clock. Let me do my introduction. Today's topic says why Michael Langley should be declared unwanted or a tourist in Africa. From the first video that we watched, our brother clearly said, if the United States actually mean good for Africa, if Michael Langley is actually fighting for African gold so that African people can benefit from it, if Michael Langley, that idiot, so love Africans that he want for African people to benefit from their resources, oh my God, what have Michael Langley never spoken about the resources of Cameroon? What have Michael Langley never spoken about the resources of DRC Congo? Why Michael Langley, that slave, didn't speak when France was controlling the 14 so-called Francophone nations, where France have stored billions or trillions worth of gold from those 14 Francophone nations. Where was Michael Langley? Where was Washington, D.C.? Why they didn't go to France to wage war on France? Why they didn't go to kill the former French president or even the current one, Macron? Why can Michael Langley go with a military or African to go and kill or assassinate Macron? Why Michael Langley should be declared on the African continent? That's what we are here to discuss today. Why Michael Langley did not go to Togo to assassinate Farouk? This family have been ruling for over 50 to 60 years. Why Michael Langley did not go to assassinate? Oh, does that mean he don't love the people of Togo? Because the people of Togo are no longer, have never been benefiting from their resources. So if Michael Langley is so concerned about gold, about resources, that the Burkina Faso, the Malian, the Nigerian are not benefiting because of the leader that they have, why Michael Langley have never spoken about the resources of DRC Congo that is not in benefit of the people? Why have Michael Langley never spoken about the resources that have been smuggled, that have been looted from Liberia, that the Liberians are now benefiting from their rubber? The Liberians are not benefiting from their iron ore. The Liberians are not benefiting from their timber, their gold. Why is Michael Langley not speaking for the Liberian? Is that because of special interests that they have in the Sahel? Is that because the Sahelian leaders are naturalizing their resources for the state and for the people? Is that because now the resources, the people in our region are actually benefiting from their resources? Michael Langley, are you angry? Washington, D.C., are you guys angry because first time after Mensa Musa, first time after Mensa Musa in that region have never had a gold reserve. Michael Langley, have you questioned France when France been stealing and looting the people's resources, that France have a reserve of gold, but France does not have a gold mountain? France does not have a gold mountain, but France have a reserve of gold. Michael Langley, when did you go to speak for the Burkina Faso, for the Malian, for the people in our region, to tell France these people are not benefiting? If you love the Sahelian region or nation, go to France, tell France, Michael Langley, go and tell France to carry the gold reserve that is stole from our region. Let them take it back to the nation. Let them take it back to the continent. Then we will know you are actually speaking for the Liberian, for the African people. We want you to question the United States. Why do that the United States have a reserve of iron ore in the world when Liberian does not enjoy or have a reserve of iron ore in the world? We want you to ask Washington, D.C., why do you have a reserve of iron ore that you stole from Liberia, you exported from Liberia, but look at Liberia, no road, no bridges, no infrastructure. Michael Langley, you are an idiot. And we have all reason never again to trust the United States. We have all reason never in this generation and next generation to come to trust the U.S. because the CIA partook in the assassination of Thomas Sankara. The CIA partook in the assassination of Patrick Lumumba. I watched a video. CIA director sat it down on the table and they were discussing about Thomas Sankara, how he was arrogant, how he was aggressive. Oh, so you love Michael Langley to be arrogant. You love Michael Langley to be arrogant and aggressive against his own people, against the assassination, or he want to assassinate another African leader. You love that for an African man to be aggressive and arrogant, to go against his own brothers and sisters. But you do not love an African man to be angry or to be aggressive when they want a betterment for their people or to liberate their people. That is why we don't trust the U.S. and we will never trust the United States again. You can come with any policy. You can come with anything, United States. We don't trust you because you gave a reason not to trust you. You gave us reasons, reasons upon reason to doubt you. Oh, then you gave Gaddafi yesterday, and then the next day you came out to say you never killed Gaddafi because Gaddafi killed his people. You told us you killed Gaddafi, you destroyed Libya because Gaddafi wanted one United States of Africa. That's what you killed Gaddafi for. You killed Gaddafi because you told us Gaddafi wanted one currency for Africa. That's why you killed Gaddafi. That's what you told us. You told us you killed Gaddafi because Gaddafi wanted one army of Africa. And that's why you killed Gaddafi. You killed Gaddafi because you told us Gaddafi told Africans leader never again to go to the World Bank, to go to the IMF when Africans have the resources. That's why you killed Gaddafi. You killed Gaddafi for the wrong reasons. And you still want us to doubt you. To believe you. So how can you come to us to tell us you are fighting for the Libya, for the Burkina Faso? Did you fight for Libya? Look at Libya today. After you remove Gaddafi, after you kill Gaddafi, you want to bomb Libya. Look at Libya today. We have all reason not to believe you because you funded the Arab Spring, another terrorist organization, and they destroyed Libya today. As I will believe you are the one supporting the access, the Al-Qaeda. Oh yes, USAID. It has been confirmed that they sponsor your own government in Washington, D.C. told us. USAID sponsor terrorists, sponsor Boko Haram, sponsor Al-Qaeda. So we have all reason not to believe you and not to trust you, and we will never trust you again. Oh, yesterday in your Congress, didn't you sit there and confirm, you Michael Langley, that you train other African leaders to remove African? Oh yes, you told us Mamadi Mbia, the current Guinean president, you train him to remove Connie. That's what makes you a terrorist. We have all right not to believe you. And we have all right to doubt you. We will never believe you. And we will never trust you. Your time has come and you know it. And we are not backing off. You can do your diplomatic, you can take 100 trips to Africa. we will let you know that those people in power, you have no control over them. We have control over them, and we will remove them anytime. We will let you know that we don't believe in our so-called democracy again, because that's how you manipulate African elections and put in puppets. How can you say you are fighting for the Burkinabe when Abraham Traore just came to power in 2022? So from 1884 Berlin Conference, when they divided Africa, and then now they want to form Burkina Faso. Did you fight for Burkina Faso since 1884? Did you fight for Burkina Faso? France been looting the resources before 2022. Did you fight for Burkinabes? Or at that time, did you not know Burkinabes? Or at that time, did you not know that a nation in Africa exists called Burkina Faso? Since Niger been looting the people uranium, Michael Langley, you've been on the African continent now because you are an African commander for some years now. France been looting the uranium. And Niger been powering the entire Europe. Niger power the entire France. But look at Niger, no electricity. Did you question France? Did you question the United States government? So how can you come and tell us you are fighting for the Burkinabes? You are fighting for the people of the Sahel nations. How can you be so deceitful? We have all right to believe that the United States is so deceitful in our advocacy. We have all right to believe the US is deceitful in our advocacy. Washington, D.C. is deceitful in our advocacy. And that's how you show love. Look at Libya today, Michael Langley. And that's how you show love. And that's how you show love. Look at DRC Congo, Michael Langley. And that's how you show love. Look at Sudan, Michael Langley. And that's how you show love. And that's how you show love by supporting terrorists, Michael Langley. And that's how you show love. Michael Langley is declared unwanted on the African continent. Michael Langley is declared a terrorist on the African continent. Let's get to his video. This is just my introduction, and we are ready. We will not allow the US to carry any narrative about Africa or any African nations. We will not allow Europe to carry the narrative of any African nation or the African continent. No more puppet, no more neo-colonialist. This is the time. And the US know what time has come. I think the greatest mistake ever the US have ever done was to continue to remain arrogant in what she believed in to be the police of the world. You are given time to make it up. You are given time to repent. The worst thing that you have ever done to yourself that you don't even know, for the youth, for the Africans around the world to wake up, to actually see that the US have been their problem. Did you show love to Africans? When South Africa apartheid, when Israel were torturing, shooting, killing, did you show love to Africans? Or you show love to the apartheid government by funding them financially, weapons to kill Africans? Since when have you fought for Africans? Since when have you protected African right to enjoy their resources? Since when? Since when have you protected Africans to enjoy their resources? Since when? Oh, when your interests have been tampered with, then that's the time you come with fake narrative. Oh, we are coming to fight for Africans so that they can be free. Isn't that what Your so-called puppet Obama told the Libyan are free now. The Libyan have been liberated. Today is Libya a liberated zone, or today Libya is a neglected zone? Today is Libya. Is that what you call liberated? You looting the people resources and you froze the people a bank account. Up to today, the Libyan does not even know the money, the million, the billion Gaddafi had overseas. Today, the Libyan people will never ever see that money. Only Hillary Clinton know about it. Is that how you show love? By putting people into captivity. You call that love? Let's watch Marcus Langley interview in Kenya. And we break it down and we dissect it. Marcus Langley, if only you are going to get yourself out of these African issues and not be youngs, maybe you're going to die with honor. But at this time, you have no honor. You see, Obama have no honor again. The honor Obama should have had, he's no longer going to have it. I will tell you, the day Obama is called to rest, he will never get that honor. Because if you can't get black people honor, who are you? You are nothing. It is the truth. If you can't get black people honor, you are nothing. So General Langley or Marcus Langley, whatsoever you call yourself, you just disgrace yourself. You have lost your dignity. You have lost your manhood. Because you are declared unwanted on the African continent. And anytime we see you on the African continent, we will embarrass you. Anytime we see you on the African continent, we'll embarrass you because you are a terrorist. You are declared unwanted because you have bad intention for Africa. Because you are a neo-colonialist. Because your aim is to destroy, to loot, and to kill Africans. And that's why you are a terrorist. That's why you are unwanted. And Michael Langley confirmed to us that he is a terrorist. Let's watch this. Okay. What you are about to watch and what we are about to discuss and dissect. Michael Langley is so arrogant. So he went to Kenya to meet his puppet, William Ruto, to discuss about African, to expand African. And he met a journalist, the lady you see on the screen. This lady was asking him about the happening and about his statement. And see what he said. In his statement. Let me say this before we start. We want to let the US, we want to let Europe to understand this. The generation you dealt with yesterday, it is not a generation of today. The generation you fooled yesterday, it is not a generation of today. The generation that were afraid or that was afraid of you yesterday, it is not the generation of today. This generation will fight you. This generation will bite you. And this generation will defeat you. I said it last week. Don't depend on your nuclear weapon or your nuclear power. Don't do it, United States. Because you're going to have that nuclear weapon and you will be defeated by this generation. And be careful before that same nuclear weapon be used against you. Our faces are on social media telling you that is why this generation is not a generation of yesterday. Be careful before your own nuclear weapon be used against you. Because this is a battle that you will never win. Maybe you don't understand what time it is. Maybe you are not getting it. Or maybe you know what time it is. But you're trying hard, so hard to try to see if you succeed. The truth is, you will not succeed. The truth is, you will not make it. The truth is, your time has come. The truth is, you are nothing.
Is perhaps taking up their own autonomy. General, let's talk about countries taking on their own autonomy. You are on African soil, not for the first time, but this would be a good moment to ask about one of the countries that has taken its own autonomy, and that's Burkina Faso. Your remarks recently at the Senate seem to suggest that he's diverting, that's General Traore, is diverting its 4 billion gold reserves to sustain his military rule rather than for public welfare. These remarks sparked widespread condemnation across the continent. What did you mean by that statement?
Let me speak to Burkina Faso's sovereignty. They maintain their sovereignty. They make the decisions how they use their resources. They make their decisions who their resources go to for military support. That's their sovereign right. But my cautionary tale was just from a military perspective. That was a Senate Armed Services Committee asking me a direct question. Burkina Faso, a lot of great things going on to progress them forward, okay?
First of all, let's discuss this. We'll put this idiot in his place. Do you know the reason why this slave of a man called Michael Langley is now saying this? Michael Langley is saying this because of the output of Africans around the globe. Michael Langley, let me tell you this. This man is not speaking by himself. What he's saying down there, his slave master told him. Because his slave master have seen the reality, the actions of Africans around the world. His slave master have seen how Africans, how black people around the world have organized, have come to realize that these people will not come with the same game again. We agree to it. They have seen the responses of black people around the globe. So Michael Langley is speaking. He's not speaking by himself. So now he's saying he recognized that the Burkinabe have sovereign right. When did you people realize that Burkina Faso have sovereign right? Yesterday, Burkina Faso did not have sovereign right, but you never spoke out. When France controlled Burkina Faso, when France was looting the people gold, that France have reserve of gold, you never talk about Burkina Faso's sovereign right. Yesterday, When France was taking $500 billion from Francophone nation every year. Imagine this, $500 billion. France taking it from those Francophone nations every year. But look at the livelihood, look at the living conditions of the people. But France was taking $500 billion, 500 United States billion dollar every year. Imagine, since they divided Africa in the 1884 Berlin Conference up to 2022, every year you taking 500 billion US dollar every year from 14 African nations. Do you know how wealthy France is today? And then it is the same money France, when these African leaders go and beg, because France take this money, put it in a World Bank, make billions of dollars, and then these same African leaders go and beg for the same $500 billion taken every year. And then you go and beg. And then Macron, now sitting on his throne, I think that he's feeding African, then he take 2 million, 3 million, or 4 million, and then give it right back to you. Meanwhile, he just took, that idiot just took $500 billion from you. Then you go and beg, then he gave you 2 million, 3 million. Now you're thinking, without France, you can't survive. Michael Langley, did you go to speak for the Burkinabés? Did you go to speak for the Malian? Did you go to speak for the Chadian? Did you go to speak for the Nigerian? Michael Langley, you are a hypocrite. With all the issues going on in our region, you left it, spoke not about it, but you are speaking about the people resources. Oh, now he made a statement. They have the right, because they are sovereign nation. Oh, in fact, how they call it, Abraham Traore is doing great thing. But France have never done that in Burkina Faso. France have never built factory. France have never given agriculture equipment for Burkinabe. In fact, when France was there, the Burkinabés were not full self-sufficient. But now, Burkinabés are full self-sufficient. Where you think Abraham Traore is getting that money from? The resources that he's getting, and he's using it effectively for his people. He built a master plan to employ Burkinabés so that they can work, so that they can be going to France, Europe to die on the Mediterranean Sea. Are you not seeing that? I'm glad you said they are doing some great things. So what are you looking at again? In fact, when France was there, terrorist activities was rampant in the French military. We are killing Burkinabé. We are killing Malian. We reported a serious time here. Why did you not speak about that, Michael Langley? Let's continue to this.
Okay. But then when you look at the military part of it, knowing that that's the epicenter of global terrorism.
Now, this is why we say Michael Langley is a terrorist. Now, they have come out to say Burkina Faso is the epic center of terrorism. It's the epic center of terrorism. If you don't have control over something, how do you know? So, let us ask Michael Langley. If Burkina Faso is the center of epic terrorism, and you see the efforts of the Burkinabés or the Sahel region to fight terrorists, like you say, you love African people, why do you focus on their goal? Why don't you focus on Allah with Abraham Traore? In fact, why can't you take your African to go and fight the terrorists. And then after that, when you have defeated the terrorists, when Burkina Faso is free, when Niger is free, when Mali is free, then now you go to negotiate for gold. Now you go to talk Ibrahim Traore to talk about, listen, we help you, we did this, we did this. The United States does not have gold. We need gold. But you left the issues and then you focusing on their goal. Now let's fall back. Before 2022, were you not the African commander? Before 2022, were Africa not on the African continent? Before 2022, was ISIS not on the African continent? Was Boko Haram not on the African continent? Was terrorists not on the African continent? And you were there. What did you do? Why were you not focused? Oh, you are focused today because these nations have taken on American companies. These nations have taken on French company. These nations have taken on Canadian companies. These nations have taken out British companies from looting the people natural resources. And then these nations are now naturalizing their resources for the state, for the people. And their people are benefiting from it. So that's make them to go against your policy. So that made them today to be the epic or the center of terrorism. That shows that these people are the ones supporting terrorists. Because listen to this, folks. If Michael Langley admitted to the U.S. Congress that they train Africans to go and remove Africans leaders who are not in accordance with U.S. foreign policy, with a European foreign policy, that is to tell you, if they don't have the means again to train another African leaders to go remove Ibrahim Traore, they will go to other side to support terrorists, to arm terrorists, to go and fight Burkina Faso, to go and fight Ibrahim Traore. That showed that the 20 assassination attempt on Ibrahim Traore's life, Michael Langley is telling us they are the one sponsoring it. They are the one behind it because they no longer have another Africans to go and remove another Africans. So they will sponsor terrorist activities in our region to destabilize that region. Okay, let me explain further. Maybe you're not getting me or you don't understand. Even African leaders decided today we are not going to support foreign policy over our national interests. Our national interests come first over American foreign policy. What happened? They put sanction on you, right? So if there's a means or no way of putting sanction, because look, listen, even if they put sanction on Burkina Faso, it will never work again because sanction was on Burkina Faso when these things happened newly at French. They put sanction on Mali, they put sanction on Burkina Faso, they put sanction on Niger. But these people survive it. So even right now, even if they put sanction, it will not still work because sanctions have been there and these people survive it to the extent they left ECOWAS. Imagine that. These people left ECOWAS after the put sanction. And then what Nigeria did, Nigeria cut out the supply line for electricity. And that's how Ibrahim Traore went and got trucks, medical trucks. And they were using these medical trucks in various villages because electricity was cut off. The people survived it. So at this point, they can impose sanction. So Michael Langley is telling us that sanction can never work again on these people. And then they have tried 19 or 20 assassination. It's not working. So now he's telling us they are the ones supporting terrorists. Because he said Burkina Faso is the epicenter. Why is Burkina Faso the epicenter for terrorists? So Burkina Faso is the only nation in Africa that have gold, that have resources. Now, I'm not saying this because I want for terrorists to go to other places. Understand this here. If today is Burkina Faso, tomorrow it could be Liberia. If we have a good leader that come and say we no longer support American foreign policy over our national interests, if we have a leader today in Liberia that is nationalizing their mineral resources for the state, Liberia will be an epicenter for terrorism. Listen to this, folks. This is what Michael Langley is telling us. So we want you to listen to this. He's telling us they are the ones supplying and supporting terrorists. Listen to what happened here. And that is why Walter Rooney told us a liberator zone will always be under constant threat because the imperialists will always support destabilization. The imperialists will always support chaos. Let me show you something before we come to the video. Hold on. We'll come back to this video. Let me show you something here to tell you, for you to understand something here. Understand something here. Hold on. Let me find something here quick. Let me see if I can find something here. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see here. Be with me. Let me find something here quick so that you can understand the language of these people. Where it is. Let me find it first and see. Okay. I found it. Listen to this, folks. Listen to this. Let me show you something. Listen to this.
Economies are in sub-Saharan Africa, countries rich in mineral wealth. Coltan for our computers, cobalt for our batteries, phosphates for our agriculture, nuclear ore for our power. These are the things, gentlemen, that the wars of the next 20, 30 years will be fought over. A huge deposit of cobalt was discovered in Mali just over 2 years ago. Back then, we approached the Malian government about mining rights. They told us that those rights were going to the Chinese. So we set about to create the conditions to make sure that wouldn't happen. Just last week, one of our Australian subsidiaries, thank you, Langley, secured those rights. Our pilot project in Mali hit a few bumps, but I'm delighted to report that it worked. And if it can work there, there's no reason it can't work in other mineral-rich countries across Africa. We create the chaos, and then we move in and capitalize on that chaos. We're looking at the long term here, gentlemen. Rates of return that'll make Iraq and Afghanistan look like chicken feed.
So you heard that. The video you just watched, you heard it. I don't think there's any better way I can explain for you to understand. We create the chaos and capitalize on the chaos. They created terrorists. We create the chaos and capitalize on the chaos. And you heard what it said in there. The mineral resources. You saw what they did to Libya? They created the chaos. They lied to us. And then when they capitalized on that, look at Libya today. They control the people's resources now. And you saw they talk about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso in this video here. We have all reasons never to trust the US. We have all reasons never again in our lifetime to trust the imperialists. We have all reason never again in our lifetime to trust the West, because they are the devil the Bible speak of. Let's continue with Michael Langley.
It was my time to illuminate that this is probably their weakest point, and there needs to be sufficient resources going towards for the whole fight of terrorism in that country, period. They make their decisions, though. That's their sovereignty, their sovereign right to make their decisions, what is appropriate, what's not.
All right. Again, like I said, Michael Langley is the one physically speaking, but he's speaking based on what his slave master told him. What is going on in this discussion, or what is going on with Michael Langley, right, is that what he's not telling us is, or what he's not telling the people, or what he's not saying in our interview is, what he feel, or what Washington, D.C. feel it is their right, have been taken from them. The issue here is, why should Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso turn to other country for help and not the U.S.? Why is the U.S. not making decision for these people, for these African nations, but rather they are turning to other nations for solution? Why is the U.S. not the one to tell Burkina Faso what to do? That is what exactly going on here. That is what exactly this slave master is sitting here talking. So he's speaking for the interest of his slave master. Let me ask Michael Langley. Before 2022, Abraham Traore came to power, Africa was on the African continent. In fact, the U.S. built billion-dollar drum base. Why didn't the U.S. defeat Al-Qaeda or ISIS? When you have one of the strongest military in the world, and you build billion-dollar drum base, look, this is complete hypocrisy. Why will you build billion-dollar drum base in Africa and you can't defeat terrorists? So this is why Abraham Traore said that get out. This is why Abraham Traore said get out. Because you build billions of dollars drone base in Africa and you can't defeat terrorists. Where are these terrorists getting a weapon from? Because, so to speak, in Africa, which one of the African nations actually producing these weapons that these terrorists use? No African nation produces these weapons that these terrorists are using. And in fact, the weapons the terrorists are using are all foreign weapons made. But I asked Michael Langley, did the U.S. defeat terrorists in the Middle East? Did the U.S. defeat ISIS in the Middle East? Did the U.S. defeat Al-Qaeda in the Middle East? Absolutely not. So that means you are not fit, you are not worth to defeat terrorists in Africa. That means Africans themselves have to defeat African, or let's say a terrorist. And by the way, there are numerous reports out there, we have reported on it. When they say U.S. troops were leaving the Middle East, Who did they give their weapons? Who did they give their machines, car, their helicopter to? Did they give it to the People National Army or they gave it to the terrorists? Yes, they gave them to the terrorists. Even there was new report, I think CNN even reported on it. And they showed the terrorists jubilating with American weapons, with American helicopter, with American guys. The Marine, the soldiers, guys. These terrorists are jubilating that the U.S. Marine, the United States government left it with the terrorists, left it with them. Who support terrorists? How did those equipment get to them? It's deeper to this. Let's get into it.
Wow. But I wanted to illuminate that it's going in the wrong direction now. ISIS is getting stronger. JNIM is getting stronger.
Did you hear that? ISIS is now more getting stronger. Now, listen to this, folks. Where this man get his information from? Is he the one that is fighting terrorists, or is he the one that is fighting the ISIS? Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, those are the people fighting the ISIS or the terrorists. These are the people that need to come to tell us ISIS are getting stronger. Because when we talk over, right? When we talk over, this is where they were. When we took over, this is where they were. We were defeating them, but now they are getting more stronger and stronger and stronger. I think these leaders should be the one to come and tell us, because they are the one fighting the terrorists, not Michael Langley. So how did Michael Langley get to know that these terrorists are getting more stronger and stronger? And by the way, when he says they are getting more stronger and stronger, do you know what that means? They are the ones supporting the terrorists. Because the terrorists will never ever get stronger without military might, without you giving them more training, without you giving them more modern equipment. The terrorists will never get stronger. I will never get stronger as an army personnel if I don't have the equipment. I only get stronger if I have the equipment. No matter how I can train, no matter how I can do all the training in the world, if I don't have the military equipment to back up my training, I will not be powerful. Even the man who does not have military training equal to me will defeat me if they have the equipment. So how Michael Langley get to know that these people are getting more stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger? He's not, because they are the ones supporting the terrorists. Now, if you know this, that they are getting more stronger and stronger, why are you focusing on the goal? Why are you focusing on the goal? Why are you not supporting Abraham Traore? In fact, why are you not giving the ammunition to Abraham Traore to go and fight the terrorists? But you focusing on the goal. You try to tarnish this man's repetition. You try to make the citizens, the African, to go against this man. No, you did it with Gaddafi. You killed Gaddafi. It will not happen with this man. You did it with Patrick Lumumba. You killed him. It will not happen with this man. You did it with Amilcar Cabral. You killed. Look, if anything dare happen to Abraham Traore, Michael Langley, not just Abraham Traore, if anything happened to Tiani, if anything happened to Assimi Goïta, I don't think you will love it. The world will suffer. Because it will be eye for an eye. It will be tooth for a tooth. It will be tongue for a tongue. You kill one, we kill 10. You kill one, we kill 10. That is not a threat. It is a reality. You have to stop killing Africans who mean well for Africans. You have to stop killing Africans who mean well for their people. Not this time around. You killed Gaddafi and went free. But not with those leaders. In fact, any African leader, like John Dawes leader, they are protected. And we're sending this warning to those puppet leaders. You African leader who want to be puppet, you are not protected. Because we can tell you, U.S. will not protect you with this generation. Even this Michael Langley, this idiots will not protect you with African he have. You are never protected. That we assure you. That we assure you, you are not protected. If you want to be protected, do well for your people and mean well for your people. Forget about the U.S. Forget being puppet. Because puppet means you are a dog. You are a pet. You are a cat to U.S. You are a cat or a dog. Do you want to be called U.S. dog? Do you want to for the U.S. to put leash on you? Because puppet means dog, cat, pet is a French and English word. P-U-P and then P-E-T. P-U-P means small and then P-E-T means pet. So you are little to them. They put leech on you. So with this current generation, if you are an African leader and you want to be puppet, you are not safe. America will not save you. Because right now, even America looking for a way to save herself. You know, you so-called African leaders, you are condemned. They see America, they see Europe making you to hate your brothers and sisters. But guess what? They pass behind you. They carry delegate. Let me just say this. Do you know that with all what is going on, the United States sent a delegate. The United States sent a delegate last week in Burkina Faso to meet Abraham Traoré to discuss business. The United States sent ministers in Burkina Faso last week to meet Abraham Traoré, to beg Abraham Traoré to come back, to beg Abraham Traoré to send America to allow American influence. You know what Abraham Traoré did? Some of you so-called African Negro leader, Abraham Traoré did not meet those ministers that left from the U.S. Because Abraham Traoré is not a minister, he's a president. You can call him joint at your business. Abraham Traoré, as far as we are concerned, he's not a joint government. He's a revolutionary government. In fact, he is a democratic government because he's been loved and supported and protected by his people. That is true democracy. So Abraham Traoré did not meet the ministers that left from the U.S. The so-called minister left from here and went to Burkina Faso. Abraham Traoré sent his minister to go meet U.S. minister. You see, these African leaders are so dumb. Some of them, a minister will leave from here and go, for example, to Liberia, to Ghana, Niger, not Niger, Ivory Coast, and the rest of the other nation. They will go and meet the African leader instead of meeting their counterpart. Instead of the African leader sending the minister, no. The minister will go meet that African leader and tell that African leader what to do. You know, Abraham Traoré, he's smart, calculated. He said, no, they can come. The U.S. minister went and met Abraham Traoré. Abraham Traoré did not go. Abraham Traoré sent his minister. Now, guess what they discussed there? The U.S. minister told Abraham Traoré how they want to come. And you see all what's going on? These people put Africans together, right? And then you now thinking that nation is bad. You now thinking the U.S. have your interest. Then the U.S. then go behind you to go and talk to that particular people and say, listen, we want to be friends. We want us to collaborate. Or, you know, let's do business and things. And then while you there fighting your brother, the U.S. is there making peace. You see? Now, some of you African leaders now who have turned your back against the Sahel nation. Now, here is the U.S. going there, making peace with them, trying to make peace. So, they told the minister how they want to work with Abraham Traoré, how they want to work with Burkina Faso, to fight to counter terrorism and all of these things, right? And at the same time, Michael Leslie is still there, I can, arrogant, because that's the game they're playing. But listen, that's what the minister asked the United States so-called delegate or minister that went. The minister said, okay, I see. You want to make business with us. You want us to collaborate. You want to help us fight terrorists to free Burkina Faso, right? Fine. Then, why did you go to other Western nations? Why did you go to Turkey and told them they should not sell weapons to Burkina Faso? They should not sell weapons to the Sahel nation. You saying you want to come make business with us, or you want to come help us to defeat the terrorists. But you went to people telling them, do not sell weapons to those people. Isn't that a hypocrite? Guess what? They were unable to answer that particular question. So their trip to Burkina Faso was meaningless. And that's how we need to do it. That's how Africa need to be now. Why should you come to them? They win, they pay their way and win, but they came right back meaningless. And that's what Ramaphosa should have done when he came to Washington, D.C. He embarrassed himself. So they left, they went to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso just asked them the question, fine, you want to work with us, but how can you say you want to work with us to defeat terrorists, but you are the one telling people not to sell us weapons to fight the terrorists? That's how they came back, because they met true Africans who mean well, who know their thing, who understand the West, who understand the U.S. That's why we have all reason to not trust the U.S. again. Let's continue here.
Al-Qaeda in the lands of the Maghreb is getting stronger in that country.
And do you think it's getting stronger after General Traore took over?
It has. Just look at the numbers of attacks. It really.
Again, you see, it has. Just look at the numbers. So he had the figures. So that means they are the one recruiting people. So he had the figures. He had the database. Look, how you want to have the figure, the database? I mean, everything. So that means they are the one recruiting people, because he said it have increased after Abraham Traore took over. It have increased after they have tried to assassinate this guy. It have increased because they can no longer get another African leaders to go remove this man. It have increased after over 20 assassination attempts. So their only role, their only means is to recruit more terrorists and fund the terrorists. That's why he said they have the data. They have the statistics. Michael Langley should be declared unwanted on the African continent. And I'm saying this now. Anytime we see Michael Langley in any African nation, he should be put there, he should blame, he should be out. He's unwanted. He's a terrorist.
Really has since 2022. I've been tracking this since I took command.
You heard that? He been tracking it since 2022. You heard it? What? Abraham Traore came to power 2022, and he been tracking it since 2022. He have the database. You heard it. They are the one recruiting people. They are the one funding people.
So, no ill will towards him, but the decisions is their own. They're looking for other ways to be able to, they're still on warfighting footing. It's just going to take more resources.
So you stand by that statement? Because there's been pressure on you to walk those statements back.
That's my statement. That's my assessment. That is getting worse. More needs to be done for not just local, but whole of country, because of these violent extremist organizations are seeking revenue, they're seeking resources, they're seeking recruiting from the Burkina.
So you heard it exactly now. You heard it. Michael Langley is saying because they need the resources. The West need the resources. He's speaking in quote here because he just told you he have statistics. He have how they call it statistics, or he have data on them, or he's following them since 2022 or this man took over, right? In fact, they are getting more powerful and things. Basically, what this man is telling you here is, you heard it, because they have how they call it resources tested. They need resources. They need XYZ. They need control of land. So they are doing everything to recruit, to make sure to this. Because the thing here is, even if Abraham Traore leave, they want to make sure to destabilize, to put fear in the people. They want to make sure Abraham Traore should not succeed. If they can kill him, to make sure he should not succeed. Because if Abraham Traore succeed, if the three nations succeed, then that means all the rest of the African nation will join. So since they have tried to kill these people and they can't kill them, they will recruit terrorists to make sure to destabilize our place so that development activities, development agenda will not go on, so that changes will not take place. You heard it. That's what he said. These terrorists are resource hungry, so they are to places where there are resources.
Burkinabe people, and they're seeking refuge within their country. That threatens their sovereignty.
And
okay, since when Michael Langley get to know that Burkinabe people are seeking a refuge or sovereignty in their country? Since when? And you see, folks, we will come back to this video. I have a lot of things for you. We're going to come back to this video. Let me give you another interview where Michael Langley himself said Africa is not on the African continent to fight African people war. Africa is not on the African continent to fight for Africans, to die for Africans. Africans are the ones to go and fight and die for themselves. Michael Langley, at that time, they were controlling the resources. A lot of American company were there, French company were there, Canadian company there, English or England or British company there. And when they interviewed him about the same terrorists, he said, it is not our business to fight for Africa. It is not our business to fight terrorism. It is African people, right? It is African people who will go and die and fight for themselves. Don't believe me. Then how come Michael Langley is saying here today that Africans should not be the one to make decision when it comes to terrorism? They should be the one to go and fight. You see, let's watch the interview I'm talking about where Michael Langley spoke. This is WCC. We'll bring everything to you. Oh, I didn't take it out. Okay. I'll bring it to you. Hold on. Let me see right here. Okay. So Michael Langley is saying, right, in the other interview, they want to go and fight the terrorists. The Sahel nation should not make decision. They want to go and fight for Africans because the Burkinabe need a sovereign right? But this is what Michael Langley is saying on the other side, right? Listen to this.
The northern part of Somalia and ISIS growing in numbers.
How much have they grown in that area?
Oh, wow. They are, in the past year, it's probably grown probably twofold. I won't give numbers, but it's more than what it was last year.
So that's very concerning. Does the U.S. believe that the leader of ISIS Somalia, Abdul Qadir Mumin, is the global leader of ISIS right now?
We have to take it as credible. So we're just watching that like closely as far as who is the overall leader, and if ISIS professes that, we got to take that seriously.
The Horn of Africa is in turmoil right now due to the differences between Somalia and Ethiopia. From a national security perspective, how does this affect the war against al-Shabaab?
There's limited operations with the Ethiopians at this time. Time will tell if they can settle their differences, and because when they do work together, they're very.
Now, before we get to the statement, right, you see the time he's talking about here. This was the time Ethiopia and the other nation have issues. So you see the other video that we watch, they created chaos, capitalized on the chaos, and then move in. This was the time Ethiopia and the other nations, Somalia or Sudan or so, no, Somalia or so, they have issues. And they were the same people that put Ethiopia and this nation together. That was the time. Did you remember the war between the Ethiopia and the Tigray forces again? When the same U.S. was supporting the rebel forces in Tigray or Eritrea, the same U.S. Did you remember that? This was the same thing again going on here. So at that time again, Ethiopia was also not in favor of the U.S. foreign policy. So they make another African nation to go against them, and then they created terrorists again. But watch here. Just listen.
Very effective at clearing out al-Shabaab. The unknowns are who are going to be the troop contributing country to the AUMD construct, the transition from ATMOS to AUMD. And that starts at the end of the year. In the ATMOS construct, one of the anchor and frontline countries was Ethiopia. So that's what has me concerned. Because Ethiopia, especially in the southwest state, and their contributions to the liberation and stabilization.
You say he's focusing on Ethiopia. This was the time the Ethiopian government, decided not to listen to American foreign policy. And you remember, that was the same time they removed Ethiopia from the AGOA, or AGOA, where they said America will give you money to go do agriculture or something, AGOA food product and those things. That's what started even remove Ethiopia from that program, from that list. Did you see what was going on? So now they were tarnishing the government of Ethiopia, supporting terrorists to go against Ethiopia. Do you understand what's going on here? Let's continue here. Listen, I want you to get to something. Let's just listen. I'm just trying to open your mind and see what's going on. Who are the people behind these terrorist activities in Africa? Because all of a sudden, now he's not talking about Ethiopia. All of a sudden, the epicenter for terrorism is in Burkina Faso. It's no longer in Ethiopia. Folks, are you listening here? Out of a sudden, the epicenter of terrorism is no longer in Ethiopia. Now it's in Burkina Faso. Don't be surprised. Tomorrow it's going to be in Liberia. The moment we have another great leader who said no. Tomorrow it's going to be Ghana. The moment we have another great leader who said no. Tomorrow it's going to be Nigeria. The day we have another great leader who said no. Tomorrow it's going to be in other African nations. Do you see what is going on? Today, the Sahel nation are saying no. So Michael Leslie is not saying these terrorists have left Ethiopia. Now they have come to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is the epicenter. That is to tell you, these are the people recruiting the terrorists and funding the terrorists. What did she just say? These terrorists need resources. These terrorists need money. So, say, look, they hire people. These terrorists are people that have been hired by the West. Are people that have been hired. These people are working. They need the money. They need the resources. So they pay these people to come and destabilize. They are working for the West. That is what Michael Leslie is telling you here. Because all of a sudden, yesterday, he was talking about Ethiopia being an epic center for terrorism. Now it's not Ethiopia. Today, it's Burkina Faso.
Has been valuable.
General Langley, do you think that U.S. forces may be needed during that transition from ATMOS to AWESOM, or even after that transition, to try to supplement the security as they're trying to bring forces out and pull forces in?
No, that's not my mission. That's not what we're there for. All of our initiatives and our approach on the African continent with our African partners will be Africa-led and U.S.-enabled. So our piece of enabling is not our boots on the ground. We're there to advise and assist and assist in the training, but the fight is theirs.
Okay, you heard that. We are not on the African continent to have boots. We are not on the African continent to have bases. We are not on the African continent to go and fight and die. We are not dying for Africans. The Africans will die for themselves. The African will be the one to go and fight. But again, Michael, now you understand here, right? This is WCC. We're not coming here for opinions. We're not coming here for opinions. Because Michael Leslie yesterday, on the other side, he was saying something different. Today, he's saying something different. Today, now he's saying they want to go liberate the Burkina Faso. Today, now he's saying they want to go fight Burkina Faso because they have the military, because terrorists are increasing and Abraham Traore is not giving a chance. But yesterday, Michael Leslie was telling us it is not the area of Africa to go and fight for African to die. They are only there to get advice. Okay, Abraham Traore said, we don't need your advice. We need military. We need equipment. We don't need your advice. Look, friends, you're going to advise a military man how to go and fight a terrorist? Now you understand here who are the funders of terrorism. Now you understand. So why, if the Sahel nation tell the US to get out or tell Africa to get out, so I mean it's not even the Sahel nation. To all African nations, listen to this. Michael Leslie just told you, we are not here to fight the terrorists or the Al Qaeda or the ISIS or the Boko Haram. It is not our place. We're only here to get advice. Who need your advice? Then leave. And that is why nations are saying, we don't need you. Take your best, leave. And you get angry. So, if you are not fighting, and Abraham Traore said, we are going to fight, why should you get angry? Do you see the double standard here? Do you see the two conflicting statements? So when you are stealing the resources, it was not about fighting for Africans. But now they have taken your money companies from there. So first of all, listen to this. This is why Africa is on the African continent. To protect American money companies. To protect the British money company. To protect the Canadian money companies. Because all of a sudden, when they took out the British money companies, the Canadian money company, the American money company, the Israeli money companies, all of a sudden, Michael Leslie want to go and fight to liberate the Burkina Faso, to liberate the Malian, to liberate the Nigerian. But yesterday he said it was not their fight. It was African fight. But now today he's saying, no, it is not African fight. It is a fight. Oh, so you want to come by to control and bring your company back to come and exploit our resources. Folks, Michael Langley should be declared unwanted. And from today, Michael Langley is a terrorist on the African continent, and he's declared unwanted on the African continent. Do you see the two conflicting statements here? Let's go back and take this out. This is WCC. We will leave nothing. We will leave nothing behind. So Africans have all right not to trust the U.S. Africans have all right not to believe the U.S. We have all right to go to whosoever we want to go to solve our problem. We have all right to go to whosoever we want to go to for help to solve our problem. Because USA, United States, were telling all our world leaders not to sell weapons to Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. In fighting terrorism, in battling terrorism. So we have all right not to believe the US. We are not speaking of opinion here. We bring facts, we discuss facts, and we see it, and that's why we're telling you, US, we will never trust you again. We don't even need your business in Africa. No more. You are a liar, a complete hypocrite, a complete deceiver. You are very deceiving.
Happened in Libya and Gaddafi was being taken down. A number of African presidents said, wait, hold. We will fly into Libya and we can have some kind of diplomatic conversations. The feedback from external actors to them was, if you fly into Libyan airspace, we cannot guarantee your security. I want you to think about that for a minute. That heads of state of the African continent were told this on our continent. And ladies and gentlemen, what is Libya today?
These were heads of state, and their flight was refused. We had to negotiate until they arrived. What happened once they arrived in Libya? Gaddafi was ready to quit power. He was ready to step down. He said that to heads of state. And this brings us back to the idea of ownership. We should own our security, social, and political system. Our population needs to accept that system that we are proposing, and we need to position ourselves vis-a-vis the rest of the world. When you see armored vehicles rolling in the streets, what do? Do you intervene? The responsibility to protect, does it enter into force or not? I agree that intervention should be criticized, but sometimes you need to look at the facts. 14 years after the intervention in Libya, there is no government. It was possible to stop war in Libya.
African countries, people in Africa, need to use their own brain power to make a decision first, whether this country or that country is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Don't be forced by any other country to make a choice which will not serve your fundamental interest.
And that is what exactly we are doing, and that is why the US is angry. Michael Langley is angry, and they are using Michael Langley. But the truth of the matter here is, yesterday, United States, you just watching that video. When you are funding the Arab Spring, a terrorist organization, when you use your NATO, your army to go to Libya, African leaders came to you and say, we will step in, we will intervene. Even though what you said about Gaddafi was lie, but you threatened those African leaders that if they ever dare try it, get in air, in plane, and get in our airspace to go to Libya, you will bomb them in the air. But guess what? That generation that was yesterday, it is not this generation today. You will never kill any African leader who is good. You want to kill African leaders? Go and kill Togo, the president of Togo. Go and kill Ouattara. Go and kill William Ruto. Go and kill Pambia. Go and kill those people. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go and kill those people. We dare you to go kill those people. Because you will not do it because those people serve your interest. Those people are dog. Those people are your pets. Your puppets. So you are good at killing African leaders, right? Go and kill Pambia. Pambia been in power for almost 50 years now. Why don't you talk about democracy? Why can't you go kill him? Farouk of Togo. Today, there are protests to remove him. When he manipulated the constitution. And then he said the power, because now he's no longer the president, he's how they call it? What the thing he brought himself to? What the name is there? That's the president now he is. Let me just paraphrase it. Senate president. Let me just paraphrase it that way. But the name is there. But the name is not actually Senate president. But it has to do with the Senate, the representative. So he is the president, right? So he reformed the constitution. So on our entity, he is the president. And that's where the powers are given. Now, and then he says, right? This is what he did. And then they removed the power from the central government. Because when he was there, he was a central government, the power was there. So they manipulated the constitution, right? Talking down. And then he is the president for all the branches, the 3 branches there. So that was the power lies. And then the central government had no power. So the decision comes from the president of the branches of government. And he is the president for the branches of government. And that's why now the power lasts. Power does not come from the above. So you see what it did? So why can't you go kill Farouk? Go and assassinate Farouk. Then we'll know you damn serious. Go and assassinate maybe the leader of DRC Congo who just signed a $1 trillion contract with US. Why the people are there suffering? Then we will know you're serious. You idiots. Now we know your game. So we have all right never to trust you.
That threatens America's interest?
Say again?
Does that then threaten America's interests?
Yes, thank you for asking.
So let me just talk about this. We're going to take the video. Now, you see, all what he have explained, everything he explained. Now the general asks him, so all what you have explained, this threaten American interest. You saw how he said, come again, because he wanted to hear it clear. The journalist said, so this threaten American interest. Listen, folks. If Michael Langley was speaking by himself, he would have said, no, it have nothing to do with American interest. Because all what he started was about Burkina Faso interest, Burkina Faso sovereignty, the people need this, the people need this, and that's how we need to go in. But now the journalist left the question. The journalist said, so everything you have said, it threatened American interest. He said, yes, that's it. So what is that American interest? Because everything is about America, America, America. That's how you want to kill this man here. I thought you would have said, no, it's not about America. It's about the people of Burkina Faso. It's about the people of Africa. It's about the people of Mali. It's about the people of Niger. But he said, yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what I'm coming to. American interest. And you know that American interest? They no longer believe in America. America no longer make decision. America no longer do anything. American foreign companies are out. Or they are not coming to America for handout. They are not coming to America backing them. You saw Abraham Traore. in Russia. Even in Russia, he said, we do not need the Russian to get our handout. That's a true leader speaking there, Michael Leslie. That is not a military man. That's a true leader who wants freedom for his people and for his continent and for his nation. Even in Russia, he said, we do not need Russia to give a handout. What we need is to bear ourselves, equip ourselves militarily. And he said, any nation that does not have a military, you are not a nation, because you need a military to protect your nation, your resources, your policy, everything. That's why you have the U.S. military protecting U.S. foreign policy and protecting U.S. interests. And that's what Abraham Traore recognized. He said, you cannot be a sovereign nation and you have foreign troops in your country. America, Leslie, do you have foreign troops in your country? Do you have foreign troops to your borders? Do you have foreign troops around America? And that is what Abraham Traore said. We don't need it. Just how you don't need foreign troops, that's how Abraham Traore said we don't need it. Just how you don't need aid, that's how Abraham Traore said we don't need it. We have our resources. Why are you angry? When Abraham Traore said we do not need American aid, aren't you happy to use your aid for your people? That means America has more resources to use it for her people. Your people need more pay. Pay your people. They need more. They need good health care. Provide good health care for them. The health care they get is not better right now. Give it to them. The pay they are getting, their salary is not enough. Increase their pay. Increase their salary. Give it to them. Abraham Traore said, use the American taxpayer money for American. We don't need it. Why are you angry? So you saw how he jumped up from his seat. Yes, American interest. No. American interest for American in America here, and African interest for African on the African continent. Leave our resources. The resources of Africa is for African and the descendant of African. It's not for American. It's not for the descendant of American. It's for African and the descendant of African. The resources of Africa are for them. It is their God-given right to manage their resources in and out of the continent to distribute it to African all around the world. And that is what Gaddafi wanted. And you took him down.
Faster than that. Because especially ISIS, and of course in East Africa is inextricably linked all the way to ISIS West Africa, ISIS Sahel, and there's going to be probably a move afoot for them to move and seek refuge within the line. So we have shared objectives, and we offer to work together with the Burkina government and border countries. Mali, Niger, coastal West Africa countries collective, because here's what these organizations do. Here's what these terrorist organizations do. They seek refuge in the seams or the borders of these countries and lets them thrive.
Let me explain this. We're going to take this out. You got my meshes. He said this is what these terrorists do. Seek refuge in this country. You know what the country he refers to as this country? Countries that are saying no to American foreign policy. Countries that are trying to liberate themselves. And I keep telling you this. Today, if Ghana is to join Abraham Traore, even any nation in Africa is to join Abraham Traore today, any nation is to naturalize their resources for the state and for the people, that nation will become an epic of terrorism. That nation will have terrorism. Today, if a nation in Africa does not have terrorism, it means that nation is protecting foreign interests over their people. So they will not send, Michael Leslie will not send terrorists there. But any nation in Africa today that want to naturalize their resources and use it for themselves, like Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, any nation that decide we don't want to be the puppet to the West, we want to stand up for our people, Michael Langley will send terrorists there. And that nation will become an epic of terrorism. Let me ask you today, do you see today BBC, CNN reporting about terrorists in the Middle East? It's gone. They finished because they have destroyed, they have destabilized that place, they have looted the people over, they have nothing there now. They know that everyone is focused on Africa. So today, any nation you do not have a footprint in Africa, you'll be doomed as a failure. So now you see, the U.S. withdrawn their military, their soldiers from Afghanistan, from the Middle East. No more terrorist business being discussed in the Middle East. It's done. You don't hear about it. Now it's Africa now. All of a sudden, while they just withdrawn their army from the Middle East, now they come to Africa. All of a sudden, boom. Africa now become the new terrorist epicenter. Now, it's not the Middle East again. Africa is the epicenter now. These people are the creators of these terrorists. Because if they can create people to kill African leaders, they are the creators of terrorists. If their organization supported terrorists, like USAID, they are the supporter and creator of terrorists. That is why Michael Langley is declared unwanted. That is why Michael Langley is declared terrorist on the African continent. And I say to we Africans, brothers and sisters back home, Michael Langley should be declared unwanted in Africa. Anytime we see Michael Langley in any African nations, we all should come out and boot him out. He's never wanted. He is a terrorist. He supports terrorist activities because he has statistics, he has data, he has numbers on these terrorists. He knows where they are. They support them. He knows how strong they have become all of a sudden. They are the ones that support these terrorists. But we have better thing to add up what other people are saying than me. So we will take these idiots out. But the messages have been sent across. Michael Langley is a terrorist. He's unwanted on the African continent. He means no good for the African people. Because yesterday he said they were not there to fight. Africans should fight their own fight. But today, when they kick out their so-called how they call it, money entity and stuff, all of a sudden, now they want to come and fight. They want to come and head African. They want to come and liberate African. Go and liberate Libya first. Go and liberate the issue you call in Sudan. Your war, your chaos, your proxy war you cause in Sudan. Go and liberate those people. You see, what Michael Langley don't know is that no matter how you fight for these people, you will always remain a slave in their eye. You will always remain a nigger. And this is why we have all reason never again to trust these people. They are the enemies the Bible speaks of. Let's watch this video.
We've been fighting to be accepted and realize that no matter what, you're still a nigga. It took Tiger Woods to go get sued and fined for him to realize when he said, I'm not black, I'm Tiger Woods. I'm not black, I'm OJ. These brothers felt as if they were beyond their blackness. And in that, white America had to humble them. They had to humble them to let them know, nigga, you still a nigga. No matter what you do, you are still a nigga. Diddy, you think you bigger than the system? You still a nigga. Bill Cosby, you still a nigga. R. Kelly, you still a nigga. And as those thoughts linger in our minds, we must understand that no matter what, you are still a nigga. So you have to define and redefine what being a nigga is. And the only way to develop a new definition of that is building within and building on your own. So if I'm gonna be a nigga, let me be with my niggas.
I think Kanye says that even if you're in a bean, still a nigga.
And even his points were so valid. He was talking to Sway. He said, hey, Sway, I done spent millions trying to be accepted in this fashion world, only to realize that no matter what I do, they never gonna accept me.
But why don't you empower yourself? And at that time, when Sway was saying, why don't you just do it yourself, yay? That was that fighting at the table mentality instead of building his own.
And at the time, he wasn't understanding because his whole thing was, but I want to be accepted by them. These are people that...
Why we want to be accepted so bad?
Because it feels like it gives you validation. A brother can tell you, man, you got a good look on yourself, man, all day, man. But as soon as one of these white folks come in here and say, man, I love your podcast, now all of a sudden you smelling yourself a little bit different. Just like when we growing up in the neighborhood, man, we were shunned on dark-skinned girls with Negroid features. They told us that Whoopi Goldberg was ugly. They told us that these women, they were ugly.
Straight hair was pretty.
What a curly hair, light-skinned girls at? So we grow up being color struck. We don't want nothing that look like our mamas.
Yeah.
Because we all want something that we can't have. So we're flattered when someone outside of the pond sees our ability to swim. So all of this time we've been fighting to be accepted and realize that no.
Again, we have more video. Let me show you another one. These are the reasons, right? We can't trust no one. We can't fit in with anyone. We only fit in with ourselves. There's a reason why you cannot speak for other people speaking against your own. There's a reason why you cannot fight for other people in return you fighting against your own. No one will ever accept you, because after you have done doing what you want to do for them, you are still a nigger. You are still a 3/5 of a lesser human being. You are still nothing but a spittle. You are still nothing but a cursed being. In their eye, in their mind, you are cursed. They are the devil the Bible speaks of.
July 24th, 1972. The Washington Star newspaper reveals a chilling secret. A syphilis experiment carried out without the knowledge or consent of its participants, all African-American men in Alabama. A 40-year-long study conducted by the U.S. Public Health Service and Tuskegee Institute, hidden under the guise of treating bad blood. This unethical experiment preyed on 600 impoverished men, nearly 400.
So you heard that. I brought this in because in every way, these people have been against African, fighting us in every way. In the medical field, socially, economically, entertainment, every way. You see, deliberately they were putting syphilis, they were infecting people. And then they said they were treating these people to check bad blood or to remove bad blood. So you see, they come with something on the other hand, and then the main thing they are coming with on the other side. Putting syphilis into people by saying they were treating them to see if they have bad blood or to remove bad blood. But in the same time, actually infecting them with syphilis. So syphilis was a disease that was created to destroy Black people. Just as HIV was a disease created around the 1994 to kill Black South Africans. Because at that time, they saw that maybe Nelson Mandela was going to do what they did to black people. Or Nelson Mandela was going to start taking land. Or Nelson Mandela was going to start taking a mine. Or a black South African was going to rise up. So they're taking the date to the Tuskegee experiment, putting syphilis into people, acting that they were treating people to remove bad blood or to check for bad blood. It was the same way they took HIV, created HIV, took it to South Africa, injected South African under the species of treating South Africa medically or South African, putting HIV into them. We have all right not to believe in anything they say or they bring to us, because history proved to us, even current event proved to us. We have all right to tell them what we want to tell them. We have all right to tell them they are the devil the Bible speaks of. We have all right to tell them you speak softly. Your voice sounds smooth like butter and oil, but war and sword are in your hand and in your heart. We have all right to speak in that manner.
Of whom were unknowingly living with syphilis. Promised hot meals, free medical exams and burial stipends, these men were left untreated even after the discovery of a cure in the 1940s. The cost? 128 lives lost to syphilis or related complications. It took a newspaper expose, a class action lawsuit and a $10 million settlement before the survivors were given justice. Yet, it took 23 more years for a formal apology from the government. A grim reminder of the dark side of medical history. Syphilis, July 24.
I say this not
build-up is
in a boastful way, but I'm very humbled. When I say I didn't need to do this.
basically to prevent the United States using war as an instrument. China's military buildup is basically to prevent the United States using war as an instrument, try to surprise China and try to wrestle China down or to delay China, to derail China's peaceful rise. That's the only purpose. China is making sure that the American gets the message. If you want to impose war on China, you get war. If you want to destroy China, you get destroyed. If you want to bomb China out with nuclear weapons, you will be wiped out with nuclear weapons. That's the mutually assured destruction theory that everyone in Pentagon, everyone in Washington, D.C. should fully know about. China is not going to be pushed around, and China will fight to the end, one way or another, peacefully or otherwise. So the choice is in Washington. China wants to be a partner of the United States, rather than being a slave of the United States or being a subordinate of the United States. So if the Americans pretend not to know, the world knows. How many wars has China been involved in? Zero. Let me emphasize, zero. This is the track record of China defending peace. And that is the track record of the United States being involved in war after war after war. So I think while the American policymakers in Washington may pretend that they don't know the truth, mankind as a whole knows about the truth. They know China today is the most important stabilizing force in the world. Washington is the most disruptive force in the world. China stands for peace. The United States is eager to use war to solve its geopolitical problems in one region after another. No one can hide away from the hard truth and hard data. That is the world we are faced with. China wants to promote peace. China wants to promote peace with the United States. But if the United States dares to impose war, any kind of war, tariff war, trade war, technological war, cold war, proxy war, hot war, China will fight back. That's not belligerence. That's the Chinese people's determination. to anyone trying to impose war on China.
Dear America, you banned us from joining the International Space Station, so we worked hard to build our own space station. You stopped us collaborating with you on scientific research, so we worked hard to build our own scientific research sector. You weaponized the GPS system against us, so we worked hard to make our own satellite location system. You stopped people selling us high-grade semiconductors, so we worked hard to create our own high-grade semiconductors. You outsourced your factory work to us before labeling us the world's top polluter, so we worked hard to become the world leader in clean energy. You demonized us as a threat so you could build military bases around the world, so we worked hard to build railways and public infrastructure around the world. You put 721 of us on an unfair blacklist to prevent trade, so we worked hard to find new customers to promote trade. You stopped us using the world's most popular phone operating system, so we worked hard to make our own phone operating system. You've caused problems for the world over decades with your thirst for oil. We've worked hard to become the leader in supplying gas-free cars for the planet. These days, you talk endlessly about war. We have a very different message, and this is it. The best way to destroy an enemy is to turn him into a friend. We're better together. Best wishes, China.
Okay. Now, let me elaborate on our video a little bit. By the way, this video was played, let me make that disclaimer again. Not because of China. This video was played because of Africa. And what you see in this video, this is what exactly the imperialists like the US and UK or Europe are afraid of. China collaborating with Africa or African people getting a system or exchanging, for lack of a better word, with China. Because they know since China came in contact with Africa, they know the level of improvement Africans, nations, the African continent have made. Now, this is not to say I'm speaking for China, or this is not to say the Chinese do not have issues, or the Chinese do not have, or are creating problems in other African nations. Like I said, and we've been saying here time with our numbers. If you allow the Chinese to treat you the way they want to treat you, you agree to it. Because there is nowhere in any black nation or on the African continent where the Chinese men win or the Chinese people win with their agreement or with their foreign policy, and that nation said no, and the Chinese go and put sanction on them. The Chinese go and assassinate them. The Chinese go and create proxy war. The Chinese go and form or how they call it, the opposition leader to go against that government. The Chinese go and sponsor the opposition to make sure opposition come to power, to make sure the current government move because they're not in favor of the Chinese. There's no report on that. There is no report on that. So if the Chinese are treating or taking things, then it is the agreement those people agree. Because the Chinese, they're not threatening anyone. Unlike the US, unlike Europe, like what we're seeing now, using Michael Langley. To the extent they sat in their Congress to say they want to empower their military. They want to empower AFRICOM on the African continent. In fact, Michael Langley said the United States government or Congress should improve in their air defense. But in the other video, Michael Langley is saying they will never fight in Africa. They will fight. They will never fight terrorists. They will never fight Al-Qaeda. They will never fight ISIS. It is the African people that will fight. But today, he's saying they should empower the AFRICOM on the African continent, both on ground and in the air. So who are they going to fight? Because there's no enemy. America does not have enemy on the African continent. So why will AFRICOM Michael Leslie come to Washington, D.C. and tell Washington, D.C. they need more funding to improve their airstrike, to improve their ground force on the African continent. When in another interview, he said, American soldiers will not fight. It is African people who will fight. So why couldn't he say they should increase the budget, the budgetary spending for ground force or air force for African military so that they can be able to fight the access or the terrorists? They didn't do that. And in fact, they are the one telling other nations for not to sell weapons to Africans. They are the one telling other nations not to sell weapons to the Sahel nations. So what you saw in our video that I even want to detail it a little bit, that is what exactly Abraham Traore won. And that is what exactly Michael Leslie does not want. The U.S. government does not want. Because they know if Africans are in power, if Africa, because Africa have the, imagine, China does not have the resources, unlike Africa. But see where China is. So these people know if Africa have the resources and China have that technology, Russia have that technology, and Africa have the resources, Africa already have the brain, Africa already have the manpower, Africa already have the young folks to lead and protect Africa. They only need for someone to direct them. And China and Russia will be in a position to direct them, and Africa will stand still. Africa will wake up, and it will be it for us. That is what the U.S. is against. That is what Michael Leslie is against. That is what Michael Leslie is a terrorist and unwanted on the African continent. Because they know in no time Africa will even rise and become powerful. Imagine we had the men. Imagine what China said. At the beginning of the video, what China said? China said she bailed her military because of the U.S. That's what she said. In that video, that's what he said. China bailed her military because of the U.S. Because the U.S. like to bully people. They bailed their technology because of the U.S. Because the U.S. like to bully people. So they see it, and you saw what the man said. U.S. can't fight them. Whether biological warfare, the United States cannot fight them. Physical war, the United States cannot fight them. In any way, the U.S. cannot fight. They can destroy the U.S. So the U.S. see these things, and they know that, what? And then if we allow Africa, where they have everything, they will control the world. That is what they said. If Africa have a permanent seat on the United Nations will become dysfunctional. So that means who will control the U.S.? I mean the United Nations. Africa control the United Nations. Because right now, everybody rushing to Africa. Right now, everybody want piece of Africa. Right now, African leaders are just corrupt and stupid and dumb, some of them. But if now, they can dictate to the world right now, anyway, without being part of UN. Right now, Africa is the UN. But African leaders are so damn dumb and stupid. Next year or this year, they'll be running coming to the same United Nations. Not knowing currently, Africa is actually the UN. We do not need a man-made organization. Aren't you seeing the transformation taking place right now? You are the UN. You have the cake. You can cut the cake. You can decide how the cake should be cut. And you can decide how the cake should be distributed. All you need is unity. And that's why African all around the world, black people are sending you people messages for you guys to unite. United Nations have already been funded by black people all around the world. You don't have to go and be part of a man-made UN. Because they are saying if you go and become part of the UN, their UN will become dysfunctional. Because you will cut the cake. You will decide. Because everybody wants the resources of Africa. Whosoever that does not listen to you, they're out. And because people want the resources, anything you tell the US got to agree. China got to agree. Russia got to agree. Canada got to agree. I mean, all of them got to agree. because they want your resources. You are the UN already. Already you are the UN. African leaders, what are you waiting for? Black people around the world are saying we want to unite. In fact, we are already united. It is you people that are holding Africa hostage. Unite and put this damn thing to rest. You got the cause. Put this to rest. Put this to rest. Look at the video I just showed. No one on the African continent can fight and defeat the African continent. Or let's say in this war. No one in this war can defeat or fight the African continent. Put this to rise for once. We have the power. We have the resources. We have the manpower, the youth. And you allow your youth to die on the Mediterranean Sea. You allow your people to die on the Red Sea. You allow your people to die in the desert of Libya because they want to travel to Europe. You allow your people to die when you have the resources. You allow your people to be insulted and humiliated in every manner when you have the resources. African leaders, put days to rest once and for us. Let it finish. We can defend and protect Africa. We have the resources. Everyone will follow us. Everyone will listen to us. United Nations is already in your hand. Aren't you seeing what's happening? Everybody fighting.
Destructive thing that have ever come to Africa. We have to take a different approach. If a man like, which is why democracy is the most destructive thing that have ever come to Africa, we have to take a different approach. If a man like Ibrahim Traoré is taking a lead, Assimi Goïta is taking a lead, and they are opposing when they are seeing 50 million people in Mali went on the street to defend one man, Assimi Goïta, and they are asking the Malians to go back to a ballot box. And when democracy, they have made us to believe that democracy is looking for the majority. 50 million people out of a population of 18 million are on the street saying we want Assimi Goïta, and you are telling them to go back to the ballot box through democracy. Something is wrong here, Mr. Kumyona. We do not need the Association of the United Nations. Okay. We do not need the veto power. We need unity. The dying problem of Africa right now is our unity. Yes. We have been believed and told and taught by the West that power is hereditary. It's not elected. Our leaders, before they are elected, they are selected, not by the masses of their people, else the African people will not be agitating and will not be offended by the system of leadership in Africa and will not protest. And sometimes we see coups in different African countries to tell you that the African majority are displeased with what they are seeing in the name of leaders. These leaders are people that the majority did not vote them. They are all elected, appointed from minority groups. I've given very good practical examples. These are the agendas of the Berlin Conference, that when a call is made, is prior to the Berlin Conference, that Africa is not owned by Africans. It's owned by the West that have shared Africa among themselves and put in a system by which the Africans, if they are going to manage themselves, must use, and which are system brought in by the Europeans, which is, for example, take example like a country of Cameroon. We have over 300 to 400 political parties. Indirectly, you have given power to the ruling party. Why? Because we stand in different, what they call balkanization. The people are not speaking with one voice. They are not in one box. They have been splitted in small groups. And it is in this form that we want to be looking for leaders who at the end of the day will keep their party politics, will keep their party ethics, and will protect the interests of the one who have brought them their democracy for their own advantage, at the detriment of the masses. So an individual will not lead a minority group and go to the World Bank and take money to indebt a whole nation. We are not that stupid, Mr. Kumyona. We should hold them responsible to pay that money.
Yeah, but this monies were used to construct roads. And
Mr. Kumyona, you cannot give loans to minority groups. This is not democracy. This is a violation of human rights because
But they
the
are
rights
the
of the
leaders.
people.
But
No.
they are the leaders.
Who put them there, Mr. Kumleonat? These are not the masses. And this, we talk about the human rights organization at the level of the United Nations. They are unable to protect the rights of the African people. We have organizations that are all accomplices to the exploitation of African people. We cannot go by this definition and logic of this our leader. Who put them there? And why are we agitating that they should leave and they are not still living? Because you cannot expect a poor people who cannot even feed themselves, cannot even defend themselves. And these are the people you are calling out to go and vote, knowing that those who have the yam and have everything can control the will and the destination of these people. This is where they have left us. That we should practice democracy. At the time they brought in America, they have built an empire, built a legacy, built an economy. We are underdeveloped. We are living in poverty. And you bring us the same democracy is to kill the African people. And the approach we need to take, Mr. Kumleonat, is that we want our social development, economic development to be based on our human resources through our unity. With the African Americans that are in Africa, we should be able to build alliances, means by which we are able to educate ourselves, come together in order for us to build an Africa for Africans. He's keeping America for Americans. Let us keep Africa for Africans. So they should not by any means, by any system, control Africa or intrude in Africa. That's not democracy. That's an abuse of human rights. So we should be able to define and charter our own course because we have our own founding fathers. We have blueprints. We have a history.
What's going
that keeps on changing like the chameleon, you also must have the habits of the chameleon. The African enemies are chameleonic in their behavior. We too must be chameleonic in our desire to survive. When you have an enemy that keeps on changing like the chameleon, you also must have the habits of the chameleon. The African enemies are chameleonic in their behavior. We too must be chameleonic in our desire to survive. When you have an enemy that keeps on changing like the chameleon, you also must have the habits of the chameleon. The African enemies are chameleonic in their behavior. We too must be chameleonic in our desire to survive.
And exactly, that's what we should do. Okay? That's what we should do. We should do the same thing as our enemies do. Do the same thing. Eye for an eye. Eye for an eye.
That they killed African leaders. We will not write such books anymore. We won't read such books anymore. The next set of books we read will be about how we conquered the Europeans. They came and conquered us. We will rewrite the books and we will conquer them and drive them out of our lands. So we stand here firmly with Ibrahim Traoré and all true African leaders. We don't have time for no Afrikaans leaders or no Africanaut leaders. We don't have time for puppets and sellouts and coconuts. We're here for real African leaders. So I stand firmly for Ibrahim Traoré. And that's why I'm here. From here, we'll go to the Burkina embassy to show solidarity there. We'll keep talking, we'll keep marching, we'll keep using social media. Social media is so powerful. This revolution will be televised. When they killed Sankara, there was no social media. By returning to social media, we will keep going. So we'll keep going. Let's not give up. And I think the most important thing as well, tend to your shrines, tend to your African gods. It works. We have to use our African beliefs to fight these people. This is a spiritual battle. Last night, after we all went to our shrines and things, what happened in Ghana last night? Is that the army coming for us? It rained. It rained last night. We read the history books that they killed African leaders.
To fight his own battle and show that after all, the black man is capable of managing all of us. And my last warning to you is that you all should stand firm behind us so that we can prove to the world that when the African is given a chance, he can show to the world that he's somebody. waking, we shall no more go back to sleep anymore. We are going to demonstrate to the world, to the other nations, young as we are, that we are prepared to lay our own foundation. As I said in the assembly just minutes ago, I made it point that we are going to see that we create our own African personality and identity. This is the only way in which we can show the world that we are ready for our own battle. But today, may I call upon you all that at this great day, let us all remember that nothing in the world can be done unless it has the purported support of God. We have done the battle, and we again rededicate ourselves not only in the struggle to emancipate other territories in Africa. Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. And here, I will ask the band to play the Ghana national anthem. To pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They play upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us, unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mold. We find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. Fighters for African freedom, I appeal to you in the sacred name of Mother Africa to lead this conference resolved to rededicate yourselves to the task of forming among the political parties in your respective countries a broad united front based upon one common fundamental aim and object, the speedy liberation of your territories. Don't let us also forget that colonialism and imperialism may come to us yet in a different guise, not necessarily from Europe. We must alert ourselves to be able to recognize this when it rears its head and prepare ourselves. This mid-20th century is Africa's. Our enemies are many.
So that's what Nkrumah said. Nkrumah said we should reject them. If they come with their policy or they come with their talks and we examine that their thoughts are not right and fruitful for us, we should neglect, we should reject them because they are our enemies. Nkrumah and the Mennonites, they recognize our enemies. And now they are telling us they are our enemies. Who are our enemies then? The enemies are the people who enslaved us, the people who colonized the African continent, divided the African continent into pieces. They are Africans' people enemies. The people who went ahead to kill Gaddafi are Africans' enemy. The people who went ahead to kill Patrick Lumumba, Amilcar Cabral, Lumumba Sankara, Steve Biko, they are our enemies. The people today who want to kill Abraham Traoré are our enemies. They were our enemies since the 1600s. They are still our enemies into the 21st century. Let not forget that. And I think we did not realize them before. That's why they succeeded. But now we know it. That's why they cannot succeed in killing Abraham Traoré. And the truth is, if anything dare happen to Abraham Traoré, they will die. Plenty. Because we are not going to sit and watch again. You kill another African leader and you think you will just get away with it. It's not going to happen. Like we said, you want to kill African leaders? Go get Pombia. He's already in his 90s. He's already dying anyway. Go kill him. Go to Farouk. Go to Togo and kill him. Go to Burkina Faso. Go and, not Burkina Faso, Africa. Go and kill Ouattara. Go to Kenya. Go kill William Ruto. America, go kill those people. Go to Gabon. That idiocy guy there, and he said he military leader. Where you arrange and put him, go kill him. Go kill him. Go and kill those people. You want to kill African leaders? Fine. Go and kill those people. You want to manipulate African minds to go against African leaders? Fine. Go and manipulate African minds against those people. Go and manipulate our minds against Pombi and kill him. Manipulate our mind against Ouattara of Africa and then kill him. We will even clap for you. Go and manipulate our mind against how they call it, the Guinea-Bissau president. Manipulate our mind against him and kill him. We will clap for you. And maybe you can do the same thing with Tinubu. Manipulate our mind against Tinubu and do what you want to do to him. We will clap for you. And nothing will happen to your people. If you kill those people, we promise you, your people will be free. Nothing will happen to them. But if you dare try it and touch the three leaders of Africa right now, you will see what will happen to your people. The war you're looking for, the war will come.
America trying to destabilize the country and demonize Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, they ain't got nothing to do with us. As a matter of fact, this man right here is a living example of how what they do there internationally in y'all countries, you see what I'm saying? When they able to pick and find different individuals to do their dirty work and make sure that the democratically elected officials in y'all country is being criminalized and having they justify invading y'all countries. Right now, this man is trying to talk down on Ibrahim Traore and saying that the reason why he took the gold reserves from his colonizers is because he's trying to take the gold for himself. This is the type of language that starts to swirl around and then it becomes the reason why we should invade a country. As a matter of fact, I looked this man up right here. He from Shreveport, Louisiana. You feel me? Graduated from University of North Texas in I think UTA, you know what I'm saying? University of Texas, Arlington. Got a master's degree in national security. Why would he be picked to be the head of AFRICON and he has a master's degree in national security? Oh, got a whole bunch of experience too in doing different platoons and going in invading and destabilizing countries. Then I seen a little video of him, The video is somebody asking him about coups and about training individuals to go and, you know what I'm saying, take over countries. And his responses was very curious, to say the least. All I want to say is to my people in West Africa specifically, if this man, you know what I'm saying, is one of the reasons why they didn't had any assassination attempts on. Listen, us African Americans, we do not stand by what this man doing. As a matter of fact, I'm almost appalled what he's doing. You feel me? At the international, I'm not surprised. I'm appalled because his sisters and brothers and nephews and nieces, they in America right now dealing with what they commander-in-chief Trump is doing, and they making it where your kids don't even, or your family won't even have access to higher education to make it where they can get a master's degree in national security. Funny how the degrees always don't matter, and the academia is bad, except for when you get one in national security and you can help the empire forward way instead of natural resources, especially when it comes to countries in Africa. And the last thing I say about this, y'all seeing the internal link between African countries having independence and autonomy over their own natural resources and its relationships to American stability. I.e., if they control their own shit, that causes instability for America. Now, remember, they looking for the gold reserves here in America, Remember, you know what I'm saying? You see my little, you know, they got 10 carats right there, a little 14 right there. But listen, though, we know that they was looking in them gold reserves, and there was rumors around that they might not have that gold in there. I got a little hypothesis, you know what I'm saying? It can be proven true or false, you know what I mean? That the gold they've been evaluating and valuing at whatever number they got, that's not really in there. They've been already plotting on this, man, because ain't no way they're gonna let an African control African resources. It's gotta be controlled by France. It's gotta be controlled by America. If they got gold over there, some type of European Western country gotta be the main beneficiary, or else it causes instability to the whole entire globe, and we can't have that. So we gotta go find us an African American that look like them to be able to do our dirty work, because if they come out of his mouth, it'll be a little bit more believable on it. Education is innovation, no it won't. Shout out to Africa, man.
Africa is for Africans. Let's come together and build a better Africa. Every resources that is from Africa are from us. Donald Trump is telling us that we should go to our country and build our country. And this is the time for us to tune up Ibrahim Traore. Let's tune up with him and build our country. Nobody will come and build our country for us. So let's come together. I am calling on all the 54 countries in Africa to tune together. I am calling on their leaders. I'm calling on their president to come together. They should wake up and respond to our call. We, the youth of Africa, are calling them. Where is the president of the 54 countries? We are calling upon them to wake up and respond to our calls. They should build us together. They should come together. We have a lot of resources in Africa that can build our own Africa a better place for us to be. Why do we have to go to our US? Why do we have to go to Qatar looking for a job, being slavery, suffering here and there before we can cater for our families? We can build Africa. We have all that it is. And this time around, we, the youth of Africa, are calling them. 54 countries. We are calling on every president in this country to wake up. Wake up. Wake up and respond to the calling of your people. We are one Africa. Let's build Africa together. This is not a fight of Ibrahim alone. It is for all of us. Let's come together. Let's unite together. We are no longer afraid of them. We are ready to fight to the last drop of our blood. So let's come together and build Africa. Long live Africa.
My name is Namata Serumaga Masisi, and I am the Fighter General of the Economic Fighters League. We are sending a very strict warning to the imperialists who continue to abuse and exploit this continent. Your time is up. The people of Africa are no longer going to accept this abuse. We are no longer going to accept your theft. We are no longer going to accept your manipulation. Africa belongs to Africa, and we know who we are. We understand our origins. We understand where we are going, and so we will stand with people like Captain Ibrahim Traore and every leader who stands with Africans. And we will not, again, allow for you to put your puppets in place, to steal from us, to kill us, to destroy the hope that belongs to Africa. And so we as Africans, as all the Africans are speaking to you, remember who we are. We are standing tall. We are upright men and women. And we are saying that Africa must unite now. The reclamation is now. The revolution is now. And we are taking it all back. AES, continue to do the good work, comrades. We know that what you are doing is ideologically sound. When we hear what Ibrahim Traore is doing, we know that there is an understanding of the needs of the African people. As long as you remain with the African people at heart, you will succeed. The people of Africa are behind you, as you have seen today. We remain behind you as long as you remain behind the people of Africa.
I'm Nina, the CEO of Destiny Sisters and Destiny Mothers. We are an NGO based in the northern part of Ghana. Yes, we are marching in solidarity with our brother Traore. Yes, we are just sending message through our voice to across the Western powers. They should stay off African continent. They should stay off our continent. Not only Traoré, because Traoré is a brother who has stood up for the entire Africa. So that's why we as Ghanaians, we are also, because we are neighbors to the Sahel. We are even not only to Traoré, to the Sahel countries, to Niger and to Mali. You understand? So we are supporting our brothers over there, because when they rise, we are all rising with them. When they fall, we fall with them. You understand? That's why we are in solidarity with our brothers. And today being African Liberation Day, we use this as an opportunity to send a message again one more time after the 30th of April, to send another message to the Western world, especially France, to stay off Traoré's back, or Africa. You understand? They should stay off our back. It's our business. Allow us to manage our business. Stop the propaganda. Okay? Stop the, it won't work again for the youth of Africa. No. We are wiser now. We are wiser now. We're no more sleeping. No more neo-colonialism. You understand? After colonialism and imperialism, now they've introduced neo-colonialism. It's not going to work again. No. We can't be slaves forever. So we won't take the propaganda anymore. Africa is wiser now. Yes. Africa for Africa, over there for them.
It's true.
Yeah, you understand. Africa for, if you touch Tuareg, you touch Africa.
Yes.
Boots for boots. You understand?
Yes.
If you touch Tuareg, you touch us. My name is Nina from Ghana.
We are taking control of our resources. That is what you need to report. You need to tell them that we are taking control of our resources. And that is it.
Find trash.
The flag of United States of America. And
That is
France.
the whole empire.
Yes.
France.
So this is the African Union circle at Accra, Ghana. So these are symbols for it.
Keep watching Magical G.
They are not doing anything that is beneficial to you. Make sure that you revolt. This is a revolution. There's no going back. And you must understand, it's not for anything that a young man is taking the lead. This is a youth day. We have not killed any whites. But today, I'm telling you, if anything should happen to this man, any whites in Africa is not secure. If anybody has issue with what I'm saying, they should come for me. I am saying that we are the only people in the entire world that have not committed any crime. From slavery, chaining our forefathers, exploiting all our natural resources. We are saying that enough is enough. Enough is enough to our leaders who are puppets of the West.
Africa is rising.
We don't need them. You, our leaders, I'm sending a message to you today. If you love the Western part of the world more than your country, get out of the country. I said get out of Ghana. Get out of Africa. We have come to stay. We are not going back. And every one of you here, take it to your house. Let's revolt against leaders who are puppets. Now, leaders who have made Africa, an extortion to the Western world. This must not happen again. Ibrahim Traoré, if anything should happen to him, the entire world will have to deal with us, the youth. Hands off Africa! Africa must be free! Hands off Africa! Africa must be free! So we are here today as an AU Day, not for joke. We are here to send a message to the entire world that we are ready for them. An eye for an eye, a boot for boot. You kill one, we kill 10,000. You kill one, we kill 1,000. And no government of Africa can stop us. Because this is a revolution of the people. We are not going back. What belongs to Africa must belong to us. Years ago, I asked my wife whether it's possible for the whites to come and be, house girl and house boy, factory workers in Africa. She looked at me and she laughed. And I told her, from Mabi Buboba. From Mabi Buboba. And from Anabedu. And we must not let go. We must make sure that from Anabo in the entire of Africa. So that the total liberation of Africa is realized. So that the young ones, our young ones, do not die in the Mediterranean seas anymore. Let's take the law into our hand to liberate Africa. Now. And it is now. Let nobody deceive you. Now. Today, we are in Ghana, right? Yes. We have been given a kind of educational system. The one that was abolished years ago. Our political leaders saw their children, they read O-level, A-level. Isn't it? Yes. And when they finish, they continue outside. All the embassies you see around here. Let me give you one example. United States of America. Go to the embassy and see the number of departments they have there. I ask myself, what is the need? What is CIA doing in my fucking country? What is DA doing in my fucking country when they themselves finance opium in other countries?
Morocco, Malawi, Benin. You are watching comment if you're cut off. Oh, Tibet.
Hello, baby. You are tired, eh? No, I'm here from Trinidad.
Oh, what?
Yes. So I'm not tired at all. This is important. This is a momentous time for all of black people all over the world. This is momentous. You know, they talk about the freedom of Africa. No matter where we are in the world, this is momentous. What is happening in Africa is momentous. And I'm so happy to be here to capture this moment and to be a part of it. This represents Trinidad and Tobago and all black people in Trinidad and Tobago who are Africans.
So, do you think that our leaders will go with what we started to do now?
The locals?
The leaders. The leaders.
But the leaders have, we would see as time go by. When we are united, we are strong, you know. So that is important for the leaders to join as one and make it the United States of Africa. That is important.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looking for reliable car insurance that doesn't break the bank? With us, you get comprehensive coverage starting.
Change your mind right now.
Just a warning. Warning to them. Warning to them. Warning to tackle. Yeah. You see, all those kind of superpowers there, they are just there as a stumbling block. You see that? So it's about time to move all those barriers from our front and move forward as one people. You understand? One Africa, one love, and one unity. And that we can do that. So we can't just hide behind their cameras, we hide behind their diplomacies, and they are spoiling the nation. No, we can't do it anymore. So this time around, we are sending up a warning to them.
Yeah. What message do you have for sending to
you know, that's what I told you from the beginning. Sometimes because of those diplomacies, men are lazy. They don't work. So when the military men come in, they put us to work and to build our country. It's not wrong. Since we are not leaving our country to go and build another man's country. Yeah, we are building our own country. And men have to be instructed. So we believe that the military is those that is going to take the work very properly. Yeah, we give them the mandate, we give them our support, and we give them our strength. Yes.
Just give us space and let us do what we want to do. That is a signal for Republican status. So what France is fighting is unacceptable. France cannot fight a territory that is seeking for its Republican status. All political scientists, all political philosophers can deduce and conclude that what is happening in Mali, in Niger and Burkina Faso is a quest for Republican status. Why would the French resist these territories from moving their cultural affairs? They have independence, they are controlling their political activities. Now they wake up and they say that, no, enough is enough. Give us space and let us continue ruling our own activities.
Anas.
I see like you are using a flag, one, and you are using one as two, and you are using two countries' flag on your leg. Why?
Of course, these people, they chose to decide for what we do in our country. They stay away from us. If they get that story, they touch any of the Sahel that will come after everything they have here. Everything they have in this country, will kill it all. Will burn all of the embassies across the world. Look.
What?
Can you tell us why you decided to join this work today?
Why? Because it's time that the African people have solidarity with when something is happening positively for us. The uprising of the Burkinabes, the Malians, and the Nigerians is evidence that Africans can handle their own affairs. And so it's important that Ghanaians, who are the neighbors of the Burkinabes, they are brothers and sisters. This thing is happening right across the border. We must be awake. We are living in a very interesting time and we're witnessing history. And this history is something that our forefathers have longed for. So this is the pregnancy that our forefathers fertilized in the universe with their thoughts of liberation and freedom. And today we are in support of our Burkinabe, our Mali, and our Niger brothers and sisters. And there should be more coming to join the club.
I share your Japan, but not say I do know what you can do. And somebody on Mukafaya, I you. A Bernard, let's hear it. You can say, Africa, my Mutu, a Yamabu, Africa, my Okabomwa. Now, you if we're not, I was saying before the Yakaya people, Ama, the Atelier,
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room with.
Yeah, we stand with terror. We stand with terror. Yes. Unite Africa. Unite
Leave Africa to us. Leave our king to arrange to us. He belongs to Africa. He's an African and he's a freedom liberator. He's doing this for Africa. And let's stand up and guide him. Let's be with him.
Yeah, the young people keep talking. Young people, don't give up on Africa. Africa is for listen. If you don't make Africa nice, yeah, what will happen is you keep crossing the desert just to go and hustle in Italy, to go and hustle in France, to go and work dirty jobs, to go and be slaves to them, where you can be kings of your own day in your own motherland. So let's work our motherland. Let's make Africa work for us so we can stay here and enjoy life. Why are you gonna suffer in the snow? Why are you gonna suffer in the cold? Why would you do that? Be careful, there's holes everywhere. There's a manhole. Yeah, African youth, we have to build Africa for us. In the next 10, 20 years, you'll be your 20s, 30s. Why the hell would you want to go and suffer in Italy? Why would you want to go and suffer anywhere in the Western world? If we make Africa nice, we enjoy Africa. We have sun, we have sea, we have everything we need here. We have all natural resources. It's all about using natural resources to our advantage. And we can only do that when we have colonizers out and we have brave leaders. Young people, you have to be brave. You are the next set of leaders. Have no fear. Read about Thomas Sankara. Read about Tuari. Read about Kwame Nkrumah. Let those people guide you. Okay, if you know about Kwame Nkrumah and all those leaders who fought for independence, you will not have any fear. Everybody will die. There's nobody in this world who will not die. So if you get killed for fighting for the cause, so what? You're going to die anyway. You better die for something than you die for nothing. So join that roof, Nat Turner. They all did their part. If they hadn't done their part, we would not be free today. So if we've got this freedom or partial freedom, let's fight all the way for our full freedom. Don't be scared of anybody. Be bold. Be fearless. Walk in your truth. Walk in your truth. Walk in your truth. And the truth is, Africa does not deserve to be colonized. So if you walk in your truth, how can you be scared? No African went to Europe and said, come and make us a slave. No African said, come and save us. We were minding our own business. Okay? The likes of Mansa Musa were traveling. And as we were traveling, Europeans were like, ooh, where from all these riches? Ooh, where from all these wonderful things? And it was our travels that made them want to come and see. So we were developed before colonization. The idea that we were not developed is a lie. We had everything in Africa. We had a functioning system of government. We had street lights. We had everything in Africa. Colonizers came, stole everything, flipped it upside down, and took our story as theirs. And so we are here today to rewrite the story. Africa will be revisited. You will know the truth. We taught Europeans everything. We taught them everything. And today they want us to bow to them. People, no more bowing to them.
We have to stop it. Now! 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 Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! An eye for an eye! A boot for a boot! An eye for an eye! A boot for a boot! An eye for an eye! A boot for a boot! For the sake of the next generation, let us end neo-colonialism. The enemy is imperialism. Therefore, anybody who sits with imperialism is the enemy. It's part of the enemy. Be care-wise. Be careful. Open your eyes. Anything going on, let's just be careful and see to it that we liberate Africa for the next generation. Uhuru! Africa! Uhuru! Africa! Uhuru! Africa! Uhuru! Uhuru! Africa! Uhuru! Africa! Africa!
I see like you are using a flag, one, and you are using one as proof, and you are using two countries flag on your leg.
Why? Of course, these people, they chose to decide for what we do in our country. They stay away from us. If they let that story, they touch any of the Sahel, that will come after everything they have here. Everything they have in this country, will kill it all, will burn all of the embassies across the world. Look.
All right, so that's the message for today, right? But before we leave, I have a 1-minute video that I'm going to play. The messages have already gone across. We are just telling the US we are ready. If they kill, because look, we have to tell the US, it was the US that killed Gaddafi. It was them that killed Sankara. It was them that killed Lumumba. It was them that killed Steve Biko. It was them that killed Amilcar Cabral. Right? So they are the enemies. So we have to let them know now. If they dare kill another African leaders, I'm not saying all the African leaders. I'm saying African leaders who mean better for African. If they can't work with them, they should leave them. If they can't work with, how they call it, Abraham Traoré, leave Abraham Traoré. If you can't work with Assimi Goïta, leave him. If you can't work with Tiani, leave him. If you can't work with the Namibian president, our first female president in Namibia, leave her. Any African leaders that you think that are not in your interest, leave them. Because if you go after them, we are going to go after your people. No, I mean, like, we are not even hiding it. There's no silent. The same way you go after our people and kill them for our interests, we will go after your people and lay them down. You waste blood, your people's blood will be wasted. You kill our people, we kill your people. It is not going to be a time where we're going to sit and come on internet again. Oh yeah, oh the United States went and killed Abraham Traoré. Now Assimi Goïta got to be careful. No, that fear tactics. To even say Assimi Goïta got to be careful, then that means Assimi Goïta is about to be a puppet. The truth of the matter is, America, if you go and kill any revolutionary leader, your people will be killed. Clear cut. You want to kill African leaders? Go and kill Paul Biya. We gave Paul Biya to you. Kill him. We gave him Farouk of Togo. We gave him free. Kill him. Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire, free. We gave him to you. Go kill him. Yes. Kill those people. Free. You want to kill African leaders? Go to how they call it? What is Museveni? Go and kill him. We gave those people free to you. Go and kill those people. Go and kill them. You want to kill African leader? Nigeria, Tinubu. Go. We get Tinubu to you free. We dash you. In fact, free of charge, we gave them to you. Go and kill him. Absolutely. Go and kill those people. You want to kill African leaders? Go and kill those people. But this point going onward, if you attack or kill any African leader, like Abraham Traoré, like the AES, any Botswana president, don't touch him, because we see what they are doing now. If you touch Botswana president, your people will die. You waste blood, your people's blood will be wasted. A hint to a wise, stop wasting African blood. You waste African blood, your people's blood will be wasted. Let's watch this 1 minute videos and we'll be out.
Please listen to this, I beg you. Enemies are panicking. They're afraid on what is coming to them, the revolution that is coming, the forces that are coming against them from all over the world, especially from here. In Africa, they are seeing everything that is happening. Just pay attention. Listen to one of them. What this man said will shock you. Just listen before I continue.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
All right. So NATO, US, Europe, imperialists, colonizer. The most important thing you can do for us, the most important thing you can do for us, get out of our way. Don't bother us, we will not bother you. Don't kill us, we will not kill you. Get out of our way and we will not bother you. Because this force, it is a force that you will not contend with. You don't want to. You remember what your forefather J.A. Hugo told you in an interview? Even though I have not seen the video, but it has been said that he was interviewed and they asked him what will be the biggest threat to the United States. And he said, Negro unity. Now, it was a prophecy that was said by your forefather, one of your forefathers, J.A. Hugo, that Negro unity will be a threat. Negro unity will be the downfall of the US. Negro unity will be the downfall of Europe. Negro unity will be a downfall of the enslaver. Negro unity will be the downfall of the colonizer. Negro unity will be the downfall of the Western world. It was a prophecy that was given by one of your forefathers. And this prophecy is at hand. This prophecy is at hand. If you don't want any calamity, if you don't want any chaos, please leave this generation alone. Because we are mad. No playing. We are bitter. No playing. We are serious about this. We are mad. We are bitter. We are angry. Not for the wrong reason, but for the right reason. We are mad. We are angry and we are bitter. If you don't want chaos, leave us alone. Like one of your own have said it in this video. There's a wave of change coming. And that change is the generation that you have lied to. You have let down. You have stepped on their neck. You have killed. You have oppressed and suppressed. And you thought this day was never going to come anytime soon. Don't get on our way and we will not bother you. Leave us alone. Gaddafi was the last man US he ever framed and killed. Gaddafi was the last man NATO you ever framed and killed. You shall kill no more leader like Gaddafi again. You shall kill no more leader like Sankara, like Lumumba, like Nkrumah, like Cabral, like Steve Biko, and the list go on. You shall never again. Because God never gave you the right. God never gave you any right to torture us, to kill us. And you go free. And we keep silent. This time around, it is a warning. This time around, it is a warning. You kill any one of us, we will come after you and you will die. Your people will die. This is not a threatening. It's not threatening nobody. The truth is, you have killed us enough. And not the bad one. At least go and kill the bad one and leave the good one. But you can't kill the good one and then leave the bad one. And then you come back and say Africa is poor. You come back and say Africa is corrupt. When you are not killing the corrupt leaders, but you are killing the non-corrupt leader. You are leaving the bad leader. And you are killing the good leader. And then come back and tell us Africa cannot produce good leader. And then come back and tell us Africa only produce corrupt leader. When you are the one killing the good leaders. And you are the ones protecting the bad leader. You are the one protecting the corrupt leader. Why terrorists can't go to nations that are protecting your interests? But terrorists are only in Africa or in nations that are not protecting your interests. That should sink in who is supporting these terrorists. Because if these terrorists, to be frank, if these terrorists were not funded purposely by certain people, by you people, if these terrorists were doing their own thing, they would have been fighting in nations that are puppet to the West. They would have been fighting in nations also that are protecting Western interests. But why the terrorists are only mostly in countries that are against Western interests. But they are not in nations that are fighting, that are protecting Western interests. They are not in nations where Western companies are there. They are only in nations where Western companies are being booted out. They are only in nations where those nations have decided to take control of their thing, of their resources, and for their people. That's where the terrorists are. Why? So US, Europe, NATO, leave Africa alone. African resources are for African both home and abroad. African abroad, the day they want to go and enjoy their resources, they can go. If they don't want to, they can stay. But they shouldn't be the one here, like Michael Langley, protecting the interests of the slave master. The day Michael Langley decide to go to Africa to fight for his resources, to fight for his land, to recognize Africa as his motherland, his homeland, his ancestral land, his welcome is for him. That's his place. But until then, Michael Langley, his children, his wife, they are not Africans and they are not part of Africa, and we don't need them. Because the same way we look at Michael Langley as terror, that's how we look at his wife as terror. That's how we look at his children as terror. That is it. No sugarcoating at this time. To come and say, oh, we are afraid before the white men speak. We are no longer afraid of the white man again. We are no longer afraid of the white man again. the colonizer, the enslaver, the killer, the enemies. We are no longer afraid of them again. You take one of us, we will take 10 of yours. Leave us alone. Live in peace. We live in peace. You want to enjoy the African resources? We are not telling you no. You can come and beg us. We will share with you. We are not like you. In fact, we will give it to you free. We will give it to you and not tell you it's a loan. We will give it to you free, unlike you. Didn't Mesa Musa give travel to the war, to the European war, and gave you people gold, diamond, and things free? His brother, Aliam Musa, he traveled and gave you people gold free. He never gave it as loan. Then you people go on the African continent, we didn't loan anything to you people. Everything we have, we give it to you people for free. And what you did, you turn around and enslave us, colonize us, kill us. But this time around, the truth is, we might not even give you anything for free now. There is no more free lunch. We will sell them to you. We will sell them to you at our own price and at our own currency, not your currency. Our currency that will back our resources. No more free lunch. Because the first time you came, we gave you free lunch. You enslave us. The second time you came, we gave you free lunch. You colonize us, divide us, and conquer us. And then you came back again while we were fighting for our independence. We gave you free lunch. You start killing our revolutionary leader. Up to today. Up to today. You still want to kill one of us. You see? We have every right. We have every reason to not believe you anymore. We have every reason to doubt you and don't believe you. We have every reason to say you are the enemies the Bible speaks of.
Honorable delegates, heads of state, leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small, I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man bred for banquet halls and handshakes. I do not come to you speaking the rehearsed language of polished politics. I come to you as a soldier of my people, as a guardian of a wounded land, as a son of a continent that has carried the cross of the world, yet has never worn its crown. My name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for the 22 million souls in my nation, but for a continent whose stories have been twisted, whose pain has been ignored, and whose dignity has been repeatedly auctioned off at the altar of foreign interests. Africa is not Tobago. Africa is not a battlefield. Africa is not your experiment, your puppet, your warehouse of raw materials. Africa is rising not to kneel, but to stand. And today I say before this great assembly of nations, Africa will not kneel, one on the false generosity of global politics. For decades you've sent us aid with one hand while extracting our lifeblood with the other. You build wells in our villages while your corporations drain our rivers. You donate vaccines yet patent the cures. You speak of climate action yet continue to fund the very forces that burn our forests and dry our lakes. What kind of generosity is this? The kind that feeds the mouth but silences the voice. The kind that keeps a man alive just enough to keep him dependent. We are not blind to this hypocrisy. Let me be clear, we are not ungrateful for sincere humanitarian assistance, but we reject a global order that disguises exploitation as partnership. We reject financial institutions that lend with one hand and steal sovereignty with the other. Africa no longer wants charity. We want justice. We want control over our own destinies, too on the chains of colonialism and its modern descendants. Our wounds did not begin with us. They were inherited legacies of an empire-building madness that saw us not as humans, but chiefs, as cargo labor tools. My ancestors were not consulted when maps were drawn with rulers and compasses in Berlin. The borders of Burkina Faso, like those of many African nations, were not carved by our ancestors, but by men who had never stepped foot on our soil, who knew nothing about languages, our tribes, or our spirits. Today, colonialism has a new face. It wears suits, it hosts forums, it signs contracts in Geneva and Paris and Washington. But it still takes without consent. It still dictates instead of dialogues. It still silences instead of listening. If you want to talk about peace, then let's begin by unlearning the arrogance that peace is something only you can teach us. 3. On resource exploitation and the myth of development. They call us developing as if the theft of centuries did not set us back, as if the gold from our lands, the diamonds from our rivers, the oil beneath our feet did not build the very skyscrapers in which this assembly sits. Let us speak plainly. Burkina Faso is rich, Africa is rich in minerals and culture and wisdom and youth. But you have taught us to measure richness in GDP and export value. You call it development when a foreign company owns 90% of a gold mine on our land. You call it progress when your security forces guard cobalt mines but not our children's schools. That is not progress, that is piracy with legal documents. From now on, we will define development on our own terms. Development that puts children in classrooms, not minerals on cargo ships. Development that respects the land, the people, and the soul of a nation. 4. On sovereignty and interference. Why is it that when an African nation makes independent choices, we are called unstable? Why is it that when we seek military cooperation outside the colonial sphere, we are labeled a threat? Burkina Faso has chosen to walk a path of sovereignty that is not a threat to peace. It is a declaration of adulthood. We are no longer under your guardianship. We are no longer your junior partners in diplomacy. We are a free people. If a nation chooses partners that respect it rather than exploit it, that is not rebellion. That is wisdom. Let it be known, no foreign power will dictate the alliances of Burkina Faso. We will build relations based on mutual respect, not historical guilt or present-day intimidation.
So, according to the man, he said the
All right, folks, that is today's presentation. I hope we all got the message. So please share, like, subscribe. Here's me, Hetty. How you doing? Long time. We don't see, we don't talk. All right, so that is today's presentation. Let us share, subscribe, like. There's a revolution that no more dressing back. And I hope the enemies, the imperialists are getting the message. We are no longer going to allow them to take our destiny. They have done that for so long, but it is time that our destiny, are taken by us and for us only. Maybe they don't. Maybe I don't know if they understand what time it is. But if they don't, well, it is up to them. If they do, well, it is up to them. But the time has come. The prophecy got to be fulfilled, and we are not dressing back. We are ready for them. All we can tell them is, if you love yourself, just back off. Leave Black people alone to do their thing. Don't even try it to go to war. You will not win. And we keep saying this. Don't try it to go to war. You will not win. And second, stop killing African people, whether on the African continent or out of the African continent. Stop killing African people. Stop treating African people unjustly. Stop it. You will not like it. Anyway, I see you Saturday and I see you Sunday. The message is clear.
The white power structure, because that's all we have in America. And the white power structure